Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Dave.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going out there?
We got a lot of cool topics today. I gotta tell you, I am interested. It's a fun show.
Yeah, so here, let's basically... Oh, is the music super loud? How's that? Is that better, guys? Can you still hear me? So, the whole point of having the music, is the music still loud? No, it's the same. Oh, you know what? That should have done it, actually. That should have done it. Is it quieter now? Yes, okay. Sorry. I had something unmuted there, so... Yeah, exactly. So what we're trying to do is just to play some music so that you can't hear the buzz noise.
Yeah, although we are getting the proper hardware upgrade to avoid buzz.
Yeah, so I'm going to buy a whole new thing,
Yeah,
but so...
We're making that happen.
So do you want me to turn this up or just have no music? Do you prefer this and just have the buzz? Or...
I mean, if you can hear the buzz still, then there's no point to having music.
Okay.
All right, music dies.
All right, music is dead.
Okay, fine. I guess I won't be able to make my hilarious joke about Mortal Kombat 11 music. I'll just table that one for the future. I had all lined up. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 11, of course. The reveal happened last week, and I was there, and there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about some esports stuff for Street Fighter and Smash, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure how to take that news. Then we're going to get some recaps going for Frosty Faustings. Also, Glitch 6 was this past weekend. I watched a bit of both of them.
Nice.
We're going to have Persia on to discuss XO Academy.
Right. Well, she'll get into it when we get her on here.
You got
so,
it.
Yeah,
cool. I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Hey, shout-outs to Wheat Lad for the subscription.
All right. Nice work. 2 months in a row. I like it. Nice work there.
Let's keep it going.
For sure. So, the biggest news is Mortal Kombat.
Wait, it's not the Street Fighter League. Come on, man. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no,
Maybe
it's Mortal Kombat 11.
Power Rangers.
Battle
Battle for the Grid.
Balanced by Justin Wong. I'm really curious about
Grid.
that.
It makes me think of Tron.
I need a fighting game company out there to hire me for balance.
Okay.
I really need that to happen because I would make an awesome fighting game. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just
okay.
saying.
All right.
Also, another
Fighting in
thing is
Tron.
the volume is going to be a little bit lower today because I've been receiving a lot of YouTube comments that we peak a lot, and that's because I have the volume really high up. So I'm going to keep it low so we don't peak. So if you can't hear us as well compared to previous weeks, just turn up your volume a little bit. So
Okie doke. All right. Let's talk about Mortal Kombat!
Starix for 24 months in a row.
Wow, that's good work over there.
Yeah.
Mortal
Kombat!
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun. I never remember which techno song it is because they all sound the same.
That was more or less right. that was, and I fear remains, the only memorable song in the whole MK pantheon.
Come on, what about
music.
Like from Mortal Kombat 1? Mortal Kombat 1's music was okay.
Every Mortal Kombat's had the same exact soundtrack.
Shout outs to Jimmy.
And this one is the same. So the only criticism I had was that the music's the same. It's exactly the same.
Okay.
I'm convinced it's exactly the same soundtrack. Maybe not literally, but, in spirit at least. Everything else I was super, super hyped for or ambivalent about.
Okay.
So, to start with what I'm hyped for, it's basically the gameplay. I feel it looks like
right.
it's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
I am super excited for the gameplay. Not just that, I think the animations are, in general, much improved. There are some that I think are still janky from the old because they're like legacy ones.
Right. Yeah.
There's definitely still a couple of things that I think are janky looking, but there's a lot of stuff that I think looks great as well. And the like cinematics look good. The conversations the characters are having with each other, all that stuff looks great.
It's great. Yeah.
So it just as a general first response, I'm very happy with how it looks, and not just with how it looks graphically, but like with how the gameplay also looks.
Right.
So I said that there's stuff I'm ambivalent about, and that's like the violence is not something that I'm there for. I don't play Mortal Kombat because there's blood and whatnot. I'm happy that most of the fatalities didn't go the serious route.
Yes.
I was really worried about it. That when they talked about buffed up graphics and the new graphics engine, that they were gonna like they were doing surgery or something. And it's still dumb. And that's good.
Dude, well, I still think MKX had probably some of the most gruesome fatalities. Now, obviously, we haven't seen all the fatalities in this game, but the fatalities feel so over-the-top ridiculous now that they don't even gross me out as much as they did before. I mean,
agree.
The fact that, like, Sub-Zero slides you onto a spike, rips out your spine through the front, and rips your head off, then chooses to impale the head onto a spike clearly after you are already dead.
You're definitely done.
Dude, every fatality is like that. You're dead. But you know what? Just in case. Just in case you might live, let me kill you again. And then just in case you're still alive, let me kill you again.
Like Sonya knocks you up into the air and shoots you 1,000 times.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But also needs to have the helicopter decapitate you and spread your guts everywhere.
Right, exactly.
You got to have both of those things. So I was happy that, I mean, I could do without it, but if it's going to be there, I'm glad that it's cartoonish and stupid. I think the Scorpion one is cool, where he like splits you and he like goes underground and splits you in half.
Yeah.
Actually, it's cool. That's like one of the few fatalities I can recall thinking like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat idea with it. Yeah.
So anyway, other than that, and the music not existing, the game I'm super, super hyped for.
Yeah.
Super hyped for. It's so sick.
I watched a long video of Ketchup and Mustard playing it. They put out a video of them trying to play very seriously against each other. And from what I saw of it, I am super hyped for a less mix-up heavy, more footsie based, more spacing kind of Mortal Kombat. So from what I've seen, the gameplay is the thing that makes me the most excited.
Yeah, for sure.
And it really feels like they decided to try to take and one of the other things that I like about it is I don't feel like they shied away from like trying to, like, there was no sign that they were trying to make it super easy for newcomers, like a lot of fighting game players and stuff like that. So it feels more like I mean, they put in Just Defends in the game, right?
Yes.
They're putting in Guilty Gear Just Defends in there, the instant blocking in there, basically, which is like one of the more complicated parts of Guilty Gear, right? And they're adding it into the game. You can even do it during block strings and stuff like that, right?
You cannot do it if you're already blocking, but if there's a gap in a string or something, so there's startup to it. In other words, so it's not free. It's flawless block, and it is a free-frame window. That is correct. Yeah. My favorite thing is that they are adding stuff, basically just taking it from other games, right? So Just Defend, or whatever you want to call it, is, I think it's just called flawless blocking, is definitely from other games, right? SNK, maybe from Gear, whatever you want to say. They have lethal hits from Soul Calibur.
That's right.
Which are called Crushing Blows, and they activate based on certain conditions. So some activate on punishes, or some the third time you do it, or whatever, right? And what they do is they deal extra damage, or they deal damage over time, or they pop the opponent up, allowing you a big juggle combo.
Right.
It's supposed to deal, in Paulo's words, eye-popping damage. That was the phrasing that they all kept telling me. 16-bit was like, it's supposed to be eye-popping damage, and then Dizzy was like, eye-popping damage. It was this phrase that they just kept saying. So okay, whatever. Look,
one of their favorite things in these fatalities is to pop out eyeballs.
Yes.
There are definitely eyeballs like flying here. Yeah, so eye popping is definitely something for them.
For sure.
So, yeah.
But
they also brought in the Rage Arts from Tekken.
Yes, Rage
so
Arts
instead of X-Ray, it's just like Tekken. You get it when you're about to die.
30% or low.
And they even brought in cooldowns from League of Legends.
Cooldowns from League of Legends is a good way to put it. There's also universal overheads from Third Strike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can do neutral jump, punch, or kick, and they're overheads, and they're instantly unthrowable. And I'm not sure how useful they're going to be, but it might be like Third Strike, where like leap attack occasionally.
Up plus blah makes you do that right away. Okay. What if you wanted to neutral jump and punch right away? Do you just delay the punch a little bit?
Yeah, just delay it. Yeah. So there's all these.
They also have Tekken wake up options now.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, I was just gonna say. So they also made it so that every character has 2 wake up options, right? So there's up +2 or right punch, whatever, and up +3, and they do different things. Up +2 in general, as far as I could tell, is a fast attack, and they seem safe. but that might be character dependent.
Is there any invincibility on them?
Yeah, invincibility as well.
Okay.
But they don't lead to damage, right? They're just like a hit, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Whereas up 3 seemed like it was a launch in general and quite unsafe. But again, that might be character specific. It might just be the characters they have showing there. But yeah, everybody has these 2 options, and you can also do it after flawless blocking. So on Wake Up, you have access to that, and after flawless blocking, that not only means that you have better frame advantage and also that you take less chip, but also that you have access to these really good reversal attacks.
So you can't do that into just a regular attack then?
You can if you want. Yeah.
But is it faster to do the other one?
Yes, it'll be faster to do.
Gotcha.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can also do a Wake Up roll, forward or back.
Yeah.
It takes all those options take your defensive stamina meter.
So one of the things that I really liked was that there were 2 meters.
Yes.
One for offense and one for defense. And I actually like the way they laid it out on the screen too, with the offense being the side and the defense being up. There's 2 blocks on each of them. I thought that there was like aerial recoveries from Injustice, like in the middle of combos.
Kind of, yeah. So instead of having a breaker as Mortal Kombat's had the last couple of games, there's a breakaway or breakout, I forget what it's called. Which is an air tech. Yeah, it's an air tech, and it's armored as your character's falling. So you'll still take damage if the opponent still is hitting you.
Yeah.
But you're armored, so you're just going to fall for sure.
Okay.
So it's not...
So they can't punish it, but they can punish it.
They can deal extra damage.
Okay.
And that takes both of your defensive stamina
What if you super one of those things on the way down? Do they absorb?
I don't know if there's armor breaking properties.
Right, that'd be interesting.
I'm not sure.
But, I mean, I like that, because then when you use your meter for a defensive roll or something like that, you're still leaving yourself with the ability to do offensive stuff with meter burns or whatever that, right?
Right. So there's these defensive 2 bars, offensive 2 bars that we were just talking about, but there's a little bit of crossover. Some active offensive moves some take 1 of offense and 1 of defense. Some take both if they consider it extra strong, I think.
Interesting.
Like Scorpion's meter burn teleport, or I think they're calling it amplified. I think that's what they're calling it. Amplified teleport. Whatever. Nobody's going to say it. But that's what
burn?
I think they're calling it amplified now. Because it's not really meter anymore. Right? It's not really the same.
Eye-popping amplification?
Hello. Okay. All right.
Eye-popping.
Scorpion's teleport meter burn takes defensive stamina. So, I think it's not categorically defense offense.
That's kind of confusing, actually.
So I don't know. There you go. It might be maybe there's a general rule that mobility ones take defensive stamina. I don't know. There's not enough characters to figure that stuff out yet. But yeah, very interesting, very different than any previous NRS game or Mortal Kombat game. There's no run.
The combos are shorter too.
The combos are definitely shorter. It's not just that that's what the characters are showing are. It's not just that the players didn't have much time. That was specifically told to me by all the guys working at NRS that while they want combos to exist and still be there, people who like it, right? There's value in it, but they don't want them to be very long. Right. They want it to be let's get back to playing the game. Right. Which I'm all for.
Moves that take all 4 bars, huh? Dang.
I haven't seen any that take all 4 bars. I've seen ones that take both defensive or both offensive. I haven't, but maybe I just haven't seen it. So I had a chance to play. I went to the Mortal Kombat 11 reveal, which was in Los Angeles, so easy enough for me. And I got it since I was going to be doing the commentary when the good players were going to be playing on stream. They let me get in there early, so that I had about an hour just to play by myself before anybody else came in. Meanwhile, those cheaters, Ketchup and Mustard, had an entire day.
Why does Europe always get all these? Europe is get all the benefits for early access to things, man.
I can't believe it. But I at least had an hour, and that was really cool. So the reveal, just to talk about it more generally, was a really cool getup. So very interesting location.
I talked to Tasty Steve about it, and it sounds like some of the things that they did there was the coolest idea ever. So the fact that they had stations with Twitch all ready to go so that all the content creators could stream on their channel from that location.
I'm not sure that they had Twitch, but they did definitely have USB sticks to save everything.
Yeah, no,
Could you stream directly from there?
I think you could stream to. Someone was telling me that there was a dude sitting right next to them and just helping them make sure that they could stream directly on their channels on some of the stations. And then other stations, you could do that, record your voiceover, save it to there and stuff like that. So
which is what I did.
Yeah, they even had it so you can get Mortal Kombat tattoos there.
They did. They had a guy doing tattoos.
And apparently he's a big, famous tattoo artist,
So
too.
I heard.
Yeah.
I was told that. There was also some dude signing shoes, and I guess that mattered to people. And there was also somebody who was, I guess, like a skateboard fella. I don't know.
That may have been the first time anybody has ever been referred to as a skateboard fella.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey there, skateboard fella.
Okay, all right. But a couple people said that they got signed.
Nice
like,
grinding job on that curve there, sonny boy.
All right, fair enough, y'all. I married a Southern girl. It's rubbing off. Anyway, so there was a skateboard person there, which people seemed hype about. There was also a room, and this is hilarious, and I don't know if there's any context to it.
Okay.
There was a room there that was all surrounded by glass, and you could go in there, and they had all of these like glass bottles and a printer and other stuff, and you got to beat it up. You got a big old bat, and you
That's
crushing
amazing,
stuff.
dude. That's amazing. I've always wanted to open a store that was that.
Yeah.
You just rent it by an hour, put on a protective suit, get a sledgehammer, and just destroy things.
Yeah.
I think that would be one of the most amazing stores ever.
It sounded like a fun idea. I didn't actually do it.
Oh, they already exist. So someone already stole my idea already.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was so loud that you could definitely hear it all throughout the building, and I'm sure it was audible on stream too because it was super, super loud. But yeah, it seemed like people were having a good time. They brought food trucks there, and the food trucks were all free.
That's crazy.
They must have spent a buttload of money on this.
Yeah, but I mean, this is how you properly reveal a game.
For sure.
Because it made it feel like a spectacle.
It definitely did. And what was very cool too was that so they set up all these great things. And by the way, you could not just record stuff, but if you weren't like recording things, there were also a bunch of setups where you could just play.
Right,
of
course.
Of
course.
They had a show. There's a live show there with Josh Gray, brought up Ed Boon and Tyler Lansdowne,
by the
Ronda
way,
Rousey.
Josh Gray just needs to be hired for all hosting duties. He's really
so
good. He's really good at that.
Super good at it. So they set up this awesome location. But what was very cool to me, too, was how many people were there. It was packed.
Yeah.
And it was packed with people who weren't just there from Southern California. There were players there from the East Coast, from New York, from the South, from Midwest.
Like L.I. Joe was out there.
Joe was there, but seriously, a couple dozen people from all over the country who I recognized. And
Xavier Woods was there, and I kept commenting if he wasn't there, he probably would have been at Frosty Faustings to play some Windjammers.
For sure.
But I mean, obviously Ronda Rousey was there because she's the voice of Sonya. A bunch of other WWE people were there because I saw Justin excited about that. So yeah, seemed like a legit event.
It really was, and it was, that you're right. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. And they had 150,000 people were watching. And then they also allowed anybody to just restream on their own channel.
Right.
And they told me that they expected somewhere around 200 or 250,000 total people watching, which is incredible to me.
Yeah.
For a reveal. But they had hyped it up so well, and they did such a good job on the show. And seriously, what a super good day. Like, they just did an excellent job with all aspects of it. Really, really good event. So that was the reveal itself. The game, like we were talking about, I'm really, really excited for. The mechanics are all very interesting. I like that it's different. It's not MKX.
Yeah.
MKX wasn't MK9. I'm all for that. I don't need to have the same, right? As we've often talked about, it should be different.
Yeah.
It should be different.
There's a lot of franchises don't do that, but the fact that MK is becoming one where they do, I think is fine. I think that's great.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And there's been a little bit of talk as to whether the game may be too slow because it doesn't have the run. Mm-hmm. Dashes are not great.
Right.
you can dash block in the way that you could in MK9, and so that is you can dash and then cancel a dash into a button or to a block.
Right. But partway through, there was a little delay from what I was hearing
basically
Joe
instant.
was saying.
It was basically instant.
Really?
It's just that there was startup to the dash.
Okay.
So the dashes are not very fast.
Right.
But once you have begun dashing, then you can cancel it basically anytime.
Right.
So it's mostly about walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard some people speculating online that it seems too slow. This may, I think, be due to the fact that the players who were playing in the Pro Exhibition had literally 45 minutes with it. So they just didn't have the time. So if you see them just walking back and forth and they're not doing that much, and how do you get in and so forth, I really think it's due to the fact that they just didn't have the experience. But if you watch Ketchup and Mustard's sets that they have uploaded to YouTube that they got to record after a day of playing, they're moving.
Right,
they're going fast.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, like 45 minutes, honestly, is not very long for you to really learn much. No. Unless you're Sonic Fox, then it's probably 20 minutes too much time, right? So, because that guy finds all the best stuff.
Yeah.
Things right away. This guy's ridiculous.
Yeah. Very. I'm very excited for it. Like I said, I don't need the run. I'm happy to not have the run, to be perfectly honest. I think it's more interesting to not have the run. While run it's not like you ran in every time. That wasn't the game. But you could. It was always a threat. And so some of your options that I felt you could use if not for run were just not as good because you had to tamper down on them. But now that's not there, so you can do those things. You can play footsies a little bit more. That was in MKX, but it's a little bit more important now. Projectile zoning probably a little bit more effective than in MKX, and I'm totally cool with all those things. Characters have giant buttons. They're half screen in many cases. Baraka's back 2 is an overhead that I think is 60% screen. It's crazy. He just is jumping in on you.
Oh, he jumps. Okay,
He jumps super far.
Okay.
But they also did a great job, I think, at not making the game as sort of oppressive as MKX could be. Even aside from the run, MKX was an oppressive offensive game.
It was the high-low vortex, right?
It was very strong.
A lot of people consider the game very vortexy, right?
It definitely can be, for sure. There's no doubt about it. And this game feels less about that. And when I was talking with Dizzy and 16-Bit and Paulo and those guys, they were all talking about the fact that they didn't want it to be that way. They wanted it to be a little different. And so while characters have overhead and lows, right, that stuff exists. Typically, an overhead will just knock down, or a character's low won't be cancelable, or whatever. So while you still have that game, it's not going to be like 50-50 into death or not, right? It's not as binary. There's a better reason to block one way or the other. And
plus, even the thing is, even when you're knocked down, you've got those wake-up attacks, right? Those universal wake-up attacks that kind of nullify that as well. So.
For sure. Now, Sonya did have overhead and lows, but they're unsafe.
Right. Okay.
Right. So where that exists, it seems like what they're going to go for is that you have to bet it as the person actually going for the mix-up. So the risk is on you in addition to being on the opponent, which I think is really great. So I'm really happy about that stuff. We talked about the crushing blow. I really like that. The fatal blow you mentioned as the rage attack, basically 30% life or less. So you can use it. And if it's blocked or whiffed, you will get it back. It comes back after about 5 seconds.
Oh, geez.
It's not gone.
So you get to keep trying.
You get to keep trying. But if it connects, you don't get it again the whole rest of the game.
Right. But, I mean...
So next round, you won't get it back.
It's easy to combo, isn't it? So
certainly some characters.
So we're going to see a lot of that to end rounds then. That's going to be... because I
think that's likely.
Yeah, because I noticed in the Ketchup and Mustard set they were ending the rounds. And so... to be honest with you, the fatal blows are probably one of the parts that I like the least. Okay. Not because of how they work system-wise, it's because they're long.
Yeah, for sure.
They felt like those interactables from Injustice 1, the stage transitions. Like, I got sick of seeing Scorpion stab you 17 times with the same spike.
For sure.
And then when it doesn't kill you, I don't know, there's just something so silly about it. Like, he literally, she pops you in the face, and you see the spike come out the back of your head, and blood sprays out, and they do all this stuff, and they fall over, and they get up, and they're like...
I know.
I don't know.
What are you going to do?
I can't...
You're right. I think that they last too long. Graphically, they last too long. But I do really like the idea of something that's not... It's a super, but it's not tied to meter. right? It's not tied to your other resources. So it's almost never the case in an NRS game that you see an X-ray or a super because your meter is just so important. But in this game you will, and I like the fact that you have to sort of figure, I have access to Fatal Blow in round 1. Should I use it now, or should I save it?
Oh, you don't get it ever
No, it's gone.
Again.
For the whole game, it's gone.
Oh, okay.
I really like that mechanic.
Gotcha.
So you have to consider, it's like with the Crushing Blows, which are only once per game as well. It's not... So but
crushing blows are the lethal hits, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Lethal hits are only once per game.
So once you so you might have like 3 different crushing blows, but once you use them, you can't use them again.
You can. Say there's 5 crushing blows that a character has access to. If you use crushing blow A, it's gone.
Right.
But you still have access to B and C
and
so forth.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you have access to, if you know that your next, for example, Sub-Zero slide will do a crushing blow,
right?
For me to burn it. But should you do that? Right? If you can combo and do a slide,
right? Because you can
do
choose
it now,
because you can choose whether to do it later because by holding the button,
you
right?
can. You can indeed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the idea of like planning for the next round.
Yeah.
Planning for later in that round rather than just going immediately. I think that presents a really cool resource management. It's not like traditional meter management, but you're still thinking about your resources a lot.
The fact that you only get 1 per game is interesting because at first I thought that this was a very like blatant kind of comeback mechanic, especially if it doesn't go away if you miss it. Or
I mean, it is a comeback mechanic,
right? So
it's just that you have to decide which round is the one you want to come back in.
Right. Because after it's activated, if you don't use it in the first round and you save it for the second round, you still can't use it until you're almost dead. Right. So, but you can only use it 1 round total.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you're way down in life in the first round, and landing a Fatal Blow is not going to win the round, probably should save it. Right. Unless maybe your character has a Fatal Blow that gives you a good knockdown situation. Now you're pressuring. Like I don't know. I'm sure that'll be character specific. But there's more stuff to think about on top of just I want to deal damage, which I think is really cool for resource management.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling that people are probably mostly going to use it as a combo ender, right?
I imagine that's true.
Right.
I imagine that's true. Yeah.
Unless it's the last round.
It does have armor. And it's really fast.
Right, and I was about to say, if it's on the last round and you can just risk it or you just call out something like you can armor through it, then absolutely.
But even still, when it comes to combos, that's if certainly if it's going to kill, obviously you fail, right? I mean, for sure. But if not, should you use it to like try to get the comeback going in the first place, or should you just save it?
It's meter management. It's meter management, right?
Yeah, but not. It's cool, I think, because it's not exactly meter management. It's just like option or resource management, right? So it's a little bit of a different.
It's like
thing.
having the Injustice Clash at any round, only if you're about to die.
It's like Clash. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, Clash was something that you had to consider. Should you use it when you first get hit in your second life bar, or should you save it for the end?
Right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. No, I think that's really nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I was really happy with all the characters that they showed. I asked them why they showed these characters in particular, and they said it's just because they're further along than the others. Like, it wasn't that there wasn't any other reasons than, like, these are the characters that are more done. Because I was like, Baraka is the one that you're like showing all. Who cares about Baraka? Is that like a big character?
Believe that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they prioritize characters like Sub-Zero and Scorp. But Baraka, I feel like, is probably just he's more done than Kano is. Just
the game is coming out in April. You have to submit those things like 4 months in advance.
Yeah, I mean, I believe him.
So I imagine that the game is done.
It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it. That was, I mean, the way that they described it to me was not at all as being done.
Okay.
Look, I'm not opposed to Baraka. I just think he's one of those characters that, like, most people don't super care about.
Right. Well, yeah, you can get a beta in March to test the net code, because you can adjust the net code stuff even after you've already submitted the game, so... That's just odd. Okay. All
right, man. If you guys like Baraka, that's cool. I've never really heard... I feel like this is like Mika and SF5, where everybody's like, I've always liked Mika. Mika's my favorite. But in reality, like, nobody played Baraka.
Baraka and MK2 had the fatality where he stabbed you and you went,
Yeah.
And then you slid down. That was a really grotesque one. So, yeah.
I tried them all. they all had good tools. Like they're all quite unique from each other, and they're all quite unique from how they were in previous games. Maybe not so much Sonya. Sonya, I feel like is the same character.
Interesting.
But Raiden is maybe more of a zoner. He's usually a pressure character.
Right. Yeah.
Scorpion seems like he has sick footsies. Sub-Zero doesn't have Ice Clone. He has an ice ball that sits there. That's kind of a clone, but that's only accessible in a variation. It's not like a standard layout, standard tool set. Baraka seems like he can zone, and he's also a grappler, so he might be kind of like you could play him kind of like Kano was in the last game, where he's a grappler in one variation and a zoner in another. We'll see. Scarlet was way more fleshed out than in MK9, where she was maybe interesting gameplay-wise in some ways, but as a character, totally forgettable. Just a boring female ninja, but a red one. Like, that was it. Like, somebody spent 10 minutes on her. But in this one, she looks really cool. Her mechanics are interesting.
What does she do now?
So she's like a blood magic lady. Yeah. So she has all sorts of good footsies based out of that. She has some traps based out of that. She's got some zoning based out of that. She seems cool. And then I was very hyped about Garris.
Of course.
New character.
Of course.
The new character that they're showing. So he's a grappler. He's not just a grappler, but he's also a big weirdo. He gets to play around with time as a mechanic.
Dude, as soon as I saw you tweet that you could chuck 30 seconds off the clock or on, how do you do that move?
I think it's like down back 4 or something.
But is it instant or
he goes.
But so wait, if you have a life lead with 29 seconds, you can snap and win.
No, it never goes down below 9. 9 is the minimum seconds left. So if there's 11 seconds on the clock, it goes to 9 seconds. If there's 2 seconds on the clock, it stays at 2 seconds. Like, It's not an auto win, but it's pretty good. Obviously, you can only do it once per round, and you can decide whether to use the speed up version or the slow down version.
Oh, you can only use it once per round,
and only use one of those per round.
Okay. So
you're not just getting rid of the clock, right? It's not like that.
Like, shoot, I need to win more time. I need to win more time.
Yeah,
I need to win.
It's not quite that.
Because if you had 2 Garrises, a mirror match, and like one, like they'd just both be like, take time, add time, take time, add time.
That would be a lot of fun
if there was infinite.
But you can, if you have 2 Garrises, because I tried it, you can take off 60 seconds from the clock like that. If they both go, it's gone. Yeah, for sure.
That'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah. So that's really cool. He has this mechanic that's also in a variation where you can cancel an opening normal and go back to where you were beforehand. So he's got a couple of buttons that move him forward very far. When you do that, you go back to the beginning, wherever you were standing. And that's doable on a whiff cancel or on block or on hit or whatever at any point during the move. So cool applications with it include pressure, right? You can do a button that's, if you're right up close, button, cancel. Now you got a bunch of frame advantage. Or you can combo out of it, you can link out of it. Or you can use it in footsies. Use a button that moves you way far forward. You're expecting a whiff punish. You cancel back. They stick out a button, then you whiff punish them. Right, so there's I think a lot of really cool ideas with that. And then he has the ability in another variation to move himself back 4 seconds in time, including to whatever his life bar was at, wherever he was at physically on the stage.
I feel like
you go back there.
David Serlin worked on this game or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, those were. Yeah, I think those are really, really interesting ideas. So that's definitely the character that I'm most looking forward to. But to talk about the variations, because I've been dancing around that.
A lot of people have been talking about that.
So in MKX, each character had 3 variations. Then in Injustice, they brought in this gear system. Right. And if you weren't playing competitively, if you were playing in casual mode, then you could include different moves for the character that they gave you. And there was a set number of moves. I think there were 2 slots or 3 slots, something like that. And you could, I think there were 2. And you could either use 2 moves that took up 1 slot or 1 move that took up 2 slots if they thought it was like an extra powerful move. So that gave you a lot of cool tools, but you didn't see that in competitive play because it was not balanced. In this one, it seems like they're still up in the air as to whether to do variations in the MKX style or in the Injustice style. because each character does have a whole set of moves that you can create a custom variation from.
Right.
You have three total slots. Moves will take up 1, 2, or 3, depending on the strength of the move. But what they showed was that they gave you 3 set variations, and then if you wanted to, you could create another. So it's, and I got differing.
I was just about to ask about this. Yes,
from people in NRS. Some people, I asked one guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll probably just do the MKX style or 3 variations." Another one was like, "I'm not sure. Maybe just one to launch, and maybe we'll end up with 5 variations." And then another one was like, "Yeah, it's custom variation." And then another one was like, because I told him, this is what other people told me, and he was like, "They told you more than I would have said." So it seems like it's just they're working on it.
They probably told everybody something different to keep everybody on.
That would be very funny.
Yeah.
That was on purpose.
They're like, we're just going to bring everybody one by one into the... Don't talk to anybody else, but this is what we're going to do with it. So if anyone asks you, you can go ahead and tell them this.
Definitely. That'd be very funny. I would love to see the custom variations because it would be cool. You know, it'd probably be the case that people would kind of settle into one of a few variations, right?
That's particularly powerful.
Probably would happen. Yeah. But even if that's true, at least, you know, if you're having fun, you're going online and playing around, like it gives you a little bit more creativity, a little more expression, which I'm all for. But the obvious downside is that having a custom variation would take more time in tournament,
right?
To create, unless they had some great system. It's plausible that you could just have character select, then you pick your character, then it's all right. Which of these 10 moves do you want to select? Like you just do it right there,
right?
I don't know. So I feel like it's doable in tournament, but I don't know if they're going to create. I don't know if they're going to do it that way.
It's probably pretty easy to set it up so each possible combination generates a different unique number code. You know what I mean? So then that way you could just pick the character and then just have a number entry, and then boom, that's your customization.
You could, yeah, you definitely could do that.
But yeah, the hardest part,
ways around it.
Balancing will definitely be the hardest part, right? Because some character, they're just not going to think of some combinations, and then someone's going to come up with something crazy.
So that was why I think the guy who told me that they're still working on how many variations to put out said that they may start with 1 and then figure it out from there. I guess we'll see. But I feel like a lot of the most interesting moves are, at least in this build, they were hidden in the variations.
Okay.
I talked with other players who had played, I talked with Biohazard who played Garris a lot, but he only played variation 1 Garris, whatever like the default one that they made was. And he was like, I think this character's lacking something. Like he doesn't have movement, he doesn't have zoning. I feel like I'm getting out-zoned.
Right.
And then Garris's variation stuff is all like he gets a teleport, he gets a projectile. Like it's like all the stuff that Biohazard wanted.
That's gonna be tough then. That's gonna be really, really hard. I mean, obviously these characters have all these excess of moves. And so when they balance it, and also how are they going to do it? Like, let's say you have a move that's done by down forward button, and there's another one that's done by down forward button.
I mean, they're all different.
Have they made sure that every special is different?
I didn't check that for every character, but I did for Garris, and they were all different. Yeah. In fact, some of them were weird. One of them was like down back block, I think was how you did the move yourself 4 seconds back in time. I think that's fine. But yeah, not all moves are 1 slot. There's some are 2, some are 3. I mentioned that Sub-Zero has Ice Clone, kind of. It's a ball that you place in front of you. It's the same idea, though. That takes 3 slots.
Right. So
if you're Sub-Zero, you only have Slide, Ice Ball, and that.
Right. So it's kind of like the Injustice situation where there's all these cool moves, but you might not even be able to see any of them in an actual tournament unless somehow variations, they figure out a way to make it work.
It could be, and I that would be a bummer. That would be a bummer to me. But we'll see. I just don't know what they're going to do. It seems like they're still working on that. Or maybe they collaborated with each other to make sure that I didn't know what the answer was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's just always... I mean, that's kind of what happened with Smash Brothers for Smash Brothers on the...
And 4.
Yeah, Smash 4. They had all those customs, but then they just got rid of them because some of them were too good and stuff like that. So
so I hope that's not going to be the case for MK11. I would really like to see as much customization as possible for the players.
Right.
But if it just ends up being that there's 3 variations again, I really like that in MKX. So that's fine with me to come back.
The other thing that I'm also worried about too is that with 60, like let's say someone's saying there's 5 special moves. Let's say they all take up 1 slot, right? Then there's 60 variations total of 3 special moves or whatever like that. Someone just did the math.
Well, the order doesn't matter though.
Right, yeah. Whatever combinations, not permutations then, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the combinations is. The hardest part about that is then that also makes it so that for every character that you fight, you need to learn like 60 different variations for, which will make it that much more intimidating to learn to play in a tournament level. So I don't know if that's necessarily...
But that said, MKX had 3 variations per character, and there were few characters that had a lot of overlap.
Right.
Other than that, and you had to figure it out.
But it was 3, and it was always going to be the same 3.
That's true.
3 is a lot less than 60.
True. I don't think it's 60 if you do the just combinations, but yeah, no, you're right.
Right, so I think, I don't know. I'm curious how that would work. I would like to see variations. I think that's a cool way to do it, to be honest with you.
Keep in mind that it's not that each one has... Characters have different amounts of moves, at least in this build. I don't know if that's going to launch like that. And some are 3 slots, or some are 2 slots. So it's not like if you have 10, then you get to, here's whatever the mix of 10 is.
Right,
It doesn't work like that. It's going to be fewer, but certainly it's more than 3 possible combinations.
Trust me, harder to learn is a problem. It's the same reason why frequent patches hurts tournament scenes. Because like you spend all this time learning stuff and then they patch it and it changes and then they're like, oh man, I know a lot of people who have stopped playing certain series of fighting games because the patches keep changing the game and people don't want to keep up with that. They don't want to learn that. I mean, it's saying like it's okay to make it hard to learn, I think is actually a fallacy, to be honest with you.
Well, as long as it's not, I mean, the biggest issue for me is whether the game's changing on the fly. Mm-hmm. If it launches with a ton of different options, then I feel that's cool. Like then I have the next 5 years to figure them out if I care about the game. Mm-hmm. But if they're being changed all the time, that really bugs me because then I don't have I have a month to figure it out.
And that's like, the hardest. I think that's another hard thing is if you do have that many variations, then you are going to see them get patched a lot.
They may.
Because you will get combinations that are too powerful.
Awesome.
And then that's all anyone's going to use online, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Dude, a lot of people are going to be messing around with Garris' stupid timer scam stuff online. It's going to be really annoying, but a lot of fun.
It's going to be
a lot of fun.
I mean, you just have, if you're a Garris, if you see anyone try to lower the time, just put it back. Just be like,
you can, yeah. If you're Garris, for sure. The patches I expect will be fine. Injustice was very light. It was a light touch throughout the entirety of Injustice 2.
Right.
Some characters were almost not changed. Like throughout the entirety of the game, Scarecrow had 3 buffs, something like almost nothing.
Yeah.
And none of them was like a game-changing change. It was like a slight, his wake up is a little bit safer or whatever, or it's invincible. Like it's not giving him new moves or anything major like that.
Right.
And while a few characters did have big changes, it was rare. So I really feel that they are doing a good job at learning how to not overchange.
And that's why I'm worried about the variation, because I feel like that would force more patches, unless it was just patching certain moves. You know
I
what I
imagine
mean?
that's probably what it would be. But I mean, Deadshot's an example of a character that they changed too much, but in general, that was not the case.
Right.
And if you look back to early MKX, certainly Injustice 1, MK9, changing way too often. And the series developed a reputation for being changed too often. Right. That is not the case anymore. So if you're concerned about getting into MK11 because you're worried about too many patches, I would not be. I think it's not a big deal. Anyway, I really like the game. I am super excited for it. Don't worry too much about who's viable now, who seems strong. Yeah, is zoning good right now? Is grappling? It's just
because we've only seen 7 characters, right? I mean,
7 characters played largely by people. The longest was a day,
right?
That anybody had a chance to play.
And not only that, but the character select screen clearly showed a slot for 24 characters, right? Yeah, it was 25 characters.
I think it was 25 actually.
25 characters. Dude, we don't know anything about the game yet.
Well, I should say it seems likely that Kano's in. He shows up in some of the menus in the game, and also in the
spotted Cabal.
Yeah, Cabal. They basically showed Nomad Dash.
Did you see the Johnny Cage accidental reveal or something like that?
I heard about that,
Yeah.
They also showed Liu Kang and Kung Lao in the story mode. They showed Cassie.
You mean that one rumor wasn't right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, no.
Cassie also is talking to Kitana, so probably Kitana also. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the violence thing is interesting, but I mean, you're not getting rid of that. That's just going to be in the game no matter what.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and I'm with you guys. It's over the top, but that's the series.
Dude,
it's always been that way, and that's a big part of their fan base. So they're not going to change that.
I've been talking about this with a lot of people. I seriously want a tournament mode where they skip the fatality, right?
Yeah.
So we can get a proper KO screen.
Yeah.
KO, da-da-da. But the addition that I want to this is the genius part.
Okay.
Is that during the KO flash, boom, KO. If it goes KO, the person who caused the KO can hit the start button and it'll trigger the fatality startup. So if the guy really wants to style on somebody and just be like KO and then hit the button and then they want to fatality them just to get in their head, they absolutely can. You absolutely can.
Okay. All right.
I think that would work. But I mean, honestly, the pause restart has to go. It has to go.
It just has to be if it were in tournament mode, taken out, that'd be great.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. I was even saying, just make it so that all the round ends in brutalities. Like, very minor different levels of brutalities. Like, if a guy's walking, you jump kick him, their head explodes, and they just fall over. If you kick them out of the air, they hit the ground and explode, or something like that, right? And just have, minor brutalities, but then, whenever you trigger one of the custom brutalities, that gets people hyped. But then, it will add to that hypeness at the end. So it'd be like, fight, oh my god, someone sweeps, the leg flies off, KO. That would just be cool, you know what I mean?
That sounds cool to me.
Because having it so it goes, boom, up, pause, restart, go,
you're preaching the choir, dude. I get it.
It needs to go.
I get it.
It needs to go.
But I'm very bullish about the game's prospects in terms of competitive play. I feel like the last year and a half has shown that Street Fighter is not the unkillable game that it once was. Tekken's doing a great job. Dragon Ball did a great job.
Right.
MK can do that, but I mean it's limited. It's never going to be popular in Asia. It's just a different culture. Violence is not considered as acceptable. But for other parts of the world, I think there's a great chance that it could be certainly one of the biggest games.
Right, yeah, for sure. And trust me, Senpai, dude, no. You do not want to have it restart. You need that delay there. It's for a viewer perspective.
Yeah.
And it's bad. It's obviously, it sucks to prioritize viewers over players.
It matters.
But for a tournament kind of environment, I'm telling you right now, as soon as you pause and restart, that is absolutely the biggest hype killer that there is. Sure. Not only that, but it also hurts the commentary. No one ever gets to go, oh my god, what? Let's jump back in the mat. Or you can't analyze it.
You're right.
Okay, that was really interesting. Is he going to change characters? He looks really nervous to me right now. You lose a lot of that stuff. So,
I'm with you, man.
Yeah. And again, when I mentioned it on Twitter, trust me, I had 90% of the people saying I hate, that's the reason I can't watch it. Is because of the pause and restart.
It matters, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
All right.
Just from, in terms of the impressions that I had and everything like that, like I said, I'm super excited for the gameplay. That to me is the most exciting part.
Yeah, man.
I am still wary of the animations. I'm still not a fan of a lot of the animations in that game.
I thought you did a lot better.
Some of the attacks look better, but the dashing still looks horrible, and the walking still looks horrible. Because if you look everybody walk, it's the same problem as old Mortal Kombat's where their torso doesn't change height. They literally walk like this.
Okay.
Their legs that, right? And their dash, they kind of go...
Right.
Their legs just kind of go... Boop, boop,
all right, fair enough. Yeah, I think that
and stuff like that. So, and some of the normal... I think Sub-Zero had where he kicks up and then kicks down. Looked really janky to me. But obviously, it's weird because some of the normals that they do look weird. The dashing looks weird. And then they go into these crazy cinematics and they're super gracefully animated and stuff like that.
Well, I thought one that was cool to see was the spin that Scorpion has on one of his variations, his little spin that he does with the chain.
Right, yeah.
That I think looks really good.
Dude, see, that's what I mean.
It looks good, right?
The problem with it is that it's so... The bad animations now stand out more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To contrast it with Poison Ivy, who had a spin, and it looked awful.
Right. Yeah,
it looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
it had no impact at all. It was terrible looking. Now there's the spin and it looks good. So, it's...
Yeah, it's better, but the worst parts look kind of worse now in a way.
By contrast, I
yeah,
see.
yeah. So I feel like they're like some of the key animations I think are still a little not great. However, like I said, I like everything that I've seen about the game, outside of those few small complaints. Okay. And again, I'm putting a lot of stock into what NRS can do because they've always had the best one-player experiences.
Oh, for sure.
They've always had the best online kind of experiences.
Oh, so good.
They have a lot of really cool things, and because that's the thing is, right, the biggest problem with most fighting games right now is the online experience is terrible. And nobody's innovating, right? It's just, here's your ranked mode, here's your lobby, have fun. And it's just like, it's not an experience playing online. Yeah. It's literally just a slog.
Right.
And MK has done NRS has done one of the best jobs with that. And with the innovations that they've come up with in the previous 3 games, I'm hoping that they come up with something even more exciting for this one, for, awesome online content.
Hey, one of my favorite things about MKX, in terms of that side of things, was that they had faction battles.
Yeah.
So you could be like part of one of 5 factions, right. And if your faction won, I forget how you even won, to be honest. Winning the most matches, I really don't recall. Whatever it was, it could give you some rewards. You get, fight money, whatever they call it. I don't know. There were some things you get, and I really like that.
Coins or something.
Yeah, might have been right, something like that. That stuff's cool. That gets people involved. And what was funny is that by the end of the game's life, everybody was on whatever the Kano one was called. Oh. I don't remember. Because everybody, you could get value by winning the rewards of each of the different factions. And everybody had done the other factions first. And then they all ended up on the last one because it was the least popular.
Oh, man,
Black Dragon.
Awesome.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, honestly,
it wasn't Special Point. It was one of those two. Right. For sure.
CFN was a cool idea. It wasn't fully executed. And I feel like even if it was fully executed, it was still just stats and still just ranks and lobbies. I'm just talking about, like, there needs to be a whole environment. You need to earn things. You need to gain things. There needs to be, like, little, like, mini missions or like, even have, like, crazy, like, little overworld maps that you run around and do things or something. And again, that's why I'm excited about NRS, what they can do, because they come up with creative stuff. So I'm hoping they can come up with stuff that's even more creative than I can come up with, because obviously what I'm coming up with is pretty straightforward and would probably be useless in the end, like nobody would use it. But if they can come up with something, then that would be awesome. So
I will be getting it on PC for sure, probably also the Switch, maybe the PlayStation. But I'm probably in for at least 2 copies. What's going on here,
Jasmine's
lady?
attacking Nathan's tail.
Oh, that's what. Okay,
yeah,
I thought it was this guy.
No. She's attacking the tail.
I see.
Because it was around the corner, and she was like, "What is that? What is that?"
Yeah, I'm very excited. So there's going to be more.
Did they announce it on the
coming
Switch?
Soon. Yes.
Okay, I'm getting it on the Switch for sure. So.
Next week on Wednesday is the first Kombat cast, and those I'm really looking forward to in MKX, and then for Injustice, they did Kombat Cast and whatever it was called for Injustice. I don't know if it was called something different. I don't remember. But they're very cool little streams that the devs do, where they show you new characters, they show you what you can do with them.
Right.
They give you a little rundown of things. They talk about community stuff. It's a really nice weekly or like semi-weekly stream that they do. I really wish that other devs would do it. The only other one really was Iron Galaxy when they were working on Chaos.
Hey, it's the U.S. studios. Yeah. What a shock.
What a shock.
What a shock.
I guess there's Capcom for that. So.
I mean, to be fair, at least the Nintendo Directs were actually kind of good.
The Nintendo Directs?
Yeah, they're all, but they were
Nintendo Directs are great, actually.
But they were very rare, and they weren't always about
not
Smash
so
Brothers, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be on the 30th, so check that out.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm really excited. Probably tell.
Yeah. No, like I said, I have a lot of hope for this game, and I really hope that it. I mean, I talked about this on a stream that I did recently. Is I'm just worried about obviously the violence aspect of it. I don't care about the violence. Like I said, I wouldn't mind if everything ended in brutalities and people's like faces exploded and all that stuff like that. My only concern is just that if it tries to become a popular esport, how are you going to do that? You can't put it on any sort of broadcast, and then also if any kid wants to be like, hey, look, I want to train for this. Like, how you convince their parents to let them buy this game where you're ripping someone's face off and stuff like that. I had even thought that maybe they should just sell goreless versions of the game. Like there should just be a version of the game that there's not even a code. You just can't. There's just a 13 plus version of it out there to sell for that. The kids will be mad because they'll get this crappy nerfed version of it.
Can you imagine being that kid?
Oh yeah, you'd be super mad if your mom bought you that one. But I feel like that's the only way to get it so that like you can have the kids train for it if they want to get into it.
Was it the Super Nintendo version that had gray blood?
Oh, or was it Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah,
it was Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah.
That was a bummer. That was one of the very few times that I went over to my neighbor's house to play a Genesis game instead of them coming to our house to play Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, then they made the MK2 version, and it was like, then they just put all the fatalities in there. Yeah. Because they were like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it would be hilarious if they did change things like that. Simple Function suggests change the eyeballs to meatballs.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be so
just
great.
Just make it so that Johnny Cage sticks his foot in your chest again, and you go, oh! Yeah. And that's it, yeah.
Spaghetti comes out. That'd be very funny.
Or everything's a friendship.
Yeah.
Friendship.
I hope that stuff's back. That was a lot of fun.
Friendships, yeah.
All right.
Everybody would buy that for the lols.
That would be very funny. Yeah, I like I was saying earlier, while I think that there's a big chance that MK gets picked up and becomes, one of the major, if not the major, fighting game in the West, you can't expect that in the Asian scene because they don't deal with violence in the same way that our cultures do.
Which is weird because some of those animes get really freaking violent, dude.
Well, I'm sure there are people who like that stuff. It's just not quite as widespread, right? And I've talked with people who play other games competitively from Japan, from Korea, about MK in the past, and many of them have told me they think it looks really interesting and that they think the footsies look cool and the spacing looks cool and the pressure looks cool, but that they don't want to deal with the violence, that it grosses them out, so they're not going to play it.
TriStar says he wants the Harakiris back, right? Yeah, only if the glitch still exists with it.
What was the glitch?
Where you perform the Harakiri and then another fatality, I don't know how to trigger it, but it basically turns you as the target of the fatality. So you run up there and rip off the leg of Sub-Zero, but your leg rips off and you start beating him. So you're like falling apart while you're fatalitying the other person. It is one of the most hilarious things. There's a whole video on that where they do every fatality where they glitch it, and it is like the most hilarious thing, dude. It is sorry.
That's true. Majin Obama.
Harakiri.
Harakiri,
yeah.
Majin Obama says that there's no arcade version, and that also is a negative. That's true. Some of the players I've talked with have said the same thing. But don't forget, Master Vampires got top 32 at EVO in MKX.
That's right.
True story. Without having a local scene, he just showed up and he was like, "Guess what, everybody? I'm one of the best in the world." And then all of a sudden,
yeah. But that won't happen anymore because the
scene's a little stronger nowadays.
The scene is a little stronger now. So yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. Well,
I guess that's it for MK. We talked about it for an entire hour.
Sure. Do you want to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we can talk about weird FGC esports leagues?
You got it, man.
All right, cool. We'll be right back, guys. Oh, sorry. Sorry. There's too much stuff over here.
Oh, dude.
There you go. Maybe David and I should switch seats since he's the one that wants to use the bathroom all the time. So. Oh, man. Dude, Mike Ross is still around, dude. True story. I ran into him at Frosty Faustings. I just heard James, and I turned around and I saw Mike Ross. And, part of me just, sorry, yeah, you're right. I turned the volume higher up. But I saw that and I was like, what the hell? Like, I almost didn't recognize Mike Ross because he was at an FGC event that was like, yeah, it was like seeing a ghost, dude. It's crazy. But he was Waxel again, and he got top 48. So I think he just missed like top 24 or something like that. So we all miss Mike Ross, dude. We all miss Mike Ross.
Drink a whole thing of coffee before I came here.
I was saying that we should switch seats just so you know. It's easy for you to get out.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Hang on a second. Yeah, sorry about the buzz, Sorry about the buzz, guys.
Yeah, as we mentioned at the start of the show, we're buying the new tech to avoid that buzz in the future.
Or just a replacement tech. I just think the one that we're using is bad. I'm going to run a few diagnostics on it just to see if I can find an alternate way to fix it or anything like that. Because this is a ground loop feedback or something is a common problem for a lot of people, and diagnosing it is very, very difficult. So I'm going to see what I can do, but I'm not sure. I've been talking to Callisto about it. He's been trying to help me. But I have unplugged everything out of it, except the headphones, and I still hear a buzz. I have it plugged into a different outlet instead of the same outlet as, on a power strip. Still the same buzz. I'm going to move it to a freaking different room, and I'm going to plug it in and see if I still hear the buzz. I'm just going to do all these things.
Downstairs as well?
The buzz, that's right. It started when we were downstairs. Yeah, you're right. It was going off back there. Yeah. To try unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Louder buzz. All right, well, it's done with that.
Okay, cool. All right. You ready?
Oh, we should try not buzzing. That's a great point.
We should try not buzzing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should try that.
All right.
Okay.
Is the buzzing still there? God, I tried really hard, too. All right.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the program. Do you have something to show people when we come back here?
I do, actually. Let me see if I can actually do this here. So, Endless Crownless King, NY Crownless King, found the video and posted up here.
Okay.
This is the Harikiri, the Harakiri video glitch where basically people end up killing themselves. So,
okay.
Let's see this here.
Let's see what we got. Okay, that was funny.
Oh, come on, really?
Oh, is that the video or
the video froze on me?
Or is that just what's supposed to happen?
I don't know.
Okay, that was funny. All right. Okay.
Well, the proper arm flew off there. Interesting.
Okay,
that one was
just
actually
fatality,
normal. That one was normal. That was not a glitch at all.
Okay.
Alright, let's see if we can get another.
Look at this camera. Okay.
I don't know, the glitch is not happening on this. I've seen a different video that was definitely a lot more impressive than this one.
That was the glitch, though, for sure. The camera was not where it's supposed to be.
Right, yeah, the camera screwed up. Yeah, see, the glitch I remember, like, the size would appear in her and stuff like that, so I'm not sure.
That's all right. I mean, we got one of those at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Pulling his own head out of Baraka's chest was pretty good. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
So, let's see. What did she do to him? There we go.
Look at her sliding off. Okay.
Okay, there you go. Anyways, that's only if that happens, then we should have Harakiri's back.
The Harry carries back.
Yeah, the Harakiri's back. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about weird FGC sports.
There's kind of, right? So a couple of things were announced just today, very recently. Mm-hmm. The Street Fighter Pro League comes to the U.S.
That's right. This was the Rage League in Japan, and it sounds like that they're bringing it here just as the Street Fighter League, right?
Yeah, so it'll be 3v3 teams. It'll be just for U.S. players. Each team will be comprised of, like I said, 3 players. None of the same character. Each person has to play a different character. Mm-hmm. One person will be on there from the top ranked of last
top
season.
6, yeah.
One person will be an online qualifier. One person will be a fan favorite. And some of that's a little up in the air. I mean, it's just preliminarily announced today, so I don't know no details. But what's the online qualification process? How do you pick the fan favorites? Like, all that stuff's to TBD as far as I know. Not publicly anyway. But 3 players. There will be 6 teams. They will be competing over 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. The seasons start in April, and then there's another one that's later on that year. And then there will be a championship at the end of the year for this team tournament, the Street Fighter Pro League tournament.
The biggest controversy.
Yeah, the biggest issue, or maybe just say the biggest news, if you're into it, I don't know, is that there's also a ban system.
Yes.
So you have the ability to ban a character for the other team. Now, my understanding of it is that it's to ban the character for the other team, right? Not for your own team. So in something like League or Dota, when you ban a character, nobody can pick it. Your team, it's gone.
I see.
It's gone. Whereas my understanding of this is that the other team can't pick that character, but you can still pick that character. I guess we'll see.
But it sounds like you can only ban one character per the team.
Correct.
Right? Which is kind of silly because I feel like you're just gonna pick the best player's best character and ban them.
Super obvious. So okay, I think
there's no strategy to it, right? This is
such a dumb idea. That's one reason. One is there's actually no strategy at all. Now there's a couple of situations where there will be. If NuckleDu's on the other team and he has like 2 or 3 credible characters, okay, but most people have one character with an occasional backup. Most people, including top players. You're just going to ban the top player's character.
Right.
And so there's no strategy. There's no thinking about it. You're not going to... If the fan favorite comes on there and they're playing Fang, you're not banning Fang.
Right.
Or even if they're playing Rashid, you're not banning Rashid.
Right.
Yeah, play Rashid. Worst player on the team, for sure.
Right.
You just ban the top player's character. And there's no strategy.
Do we want to see that?
That's the other issue.
Why do we want CJ Truth to have to learn a second character if he's a captain on the team? Because obviously his best character is Cammy.
Yeah.
What if he hasn't used another character? Are we really going to ban his Cammy so he has to now spend time learning a character he doesn't need for every other tournament that's not in the league? So he's wasting his time learning another character that he doesn't need.
Most players do have secondaries. Even I don't know what CJ's is. I'm sure he's got one.
Right.
But it's not going to be up to the level of his Cammy.
Right, exactly.
Right? It's very rare that players have 2 characters that are at the same level. There's a few, but they're rare. So for everybody else, you're going to see whatever their janky secondary is instead. And I don't know who that benefits. Does that benefit the player? I don't think so. As you said, that causes them more time. It's not something that they have to do in a normal tournament setting. So they have to maybe learn this other character. I don't know, whatever. Is that to the benefit of the viewers who get to watch a less competent character?
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm...
Are you interested in watching CJ's whatever?
Right.
I mean, I'm not really. So I don't know who it's for. I also don't know, as we were saying, what the strategy is. I think it's very clear. I think there's basically no strategy to it, and except in those few cases like NuckleDu where he does have a couple different characters. And then I don't know why in the first place. If they had just announced this league, guess what, everybody? There's a team tournament coming up. 3 different people per team.
Right.
Different characters. That's fine. Everybody would have been pretty cool.
See, here's the thing.
Why then add the thing that could cause any controversy? I just don't... It's completely bizarre to me, to be frank. I don't understand
And plus,
it.
another thing is, like, everyone who says, like, yes, it would be more fun for me to watch that, right? That's because you're probably also hoping that their secondary is like Alex or Ryu or, like, what if the Cammy player, you ban the Cammy and they switch to Guile?
That's like, what it's going to be.
Right. Is it really like, okay, I can't play Rashid, I'm going to play Cammy now?
Yeah. Well, but what if you get, like, say Eric C is one of the players. He's a Fang player, right? As the opponent team, you're banning Fang. Fang's so rare. He got buffed. You don't know the matchup yet. You're banning that character. Now you have this dude on there who plays a very interesting and rare character, and he has to play his secondary, and his secondary is going to be like whatever's easy. Rashid.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be something else.
So you're going to have the backwards thing happen.
Yeah,
it's going to be the
sure.
opposite thing happening there.
For sure. So I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it from any of the angles.
Eric C's backup is Urian. Yeah, see, wouldn't we rather see Fang in the tournament than Urian? I mean, like,
it's gonna be something like that, and even whatever the secondaries are, it's gonna be less compelling to watch. They're gonna be less practiced with them. So I'm not interested in it at all.
Because the whole thing is, like, when you do the banning in League of Legends, there's still this team aspect. You know, they practice with a bunch of different characters because you want to approach things differently.
It's interesting in that setting.
Right, yeah.
Everybody has multiple characters that they use, or heroes, or champions, or whatever, because that's the game. And you've known that since you got involved.
Right.
The whole time, when you started playing League or Dota, you knew there's a ban phase, you got to learn it, all right? Each character is, complex in some situations, less complex than a fighting game character. So to pick up a new character is not quite as much of an investment. Then there's a very interesting set of, like you said, team decisions to be made about which characters to ban and so forth. None of that stuff exists in this setting. You have a video game that everybody understands to be pick whatever character you want, and so they do, and they get used to that. And you have no team strategy. It's just if this were like the teams are 3 of the best players in the world. Which one of their characters do you ban? Maybe it's a more interesting question by a little bit. But if it's 1 pro, 1 celebrity, 1 online qualifier, obviously you're banning Christie's Ken, right? Like, it's for sure.
Right.
There's no strategy. It's so weird.
Like, I feel like if that's kind of the variety they want, like, I just feel like then, I don't know. There's just no way to do it because it's just very subjective. I don't know. It just doesn't seem.
It's a bummer to me because, like I said, if they just said Street Fighter Pro League's coming, it's a 3v3 tournament, get hype for it, I would have gotten hype for it.
Right.
I think it's a pretty cool idea. I like that side. Now,
especially having the organization be by the actual company, so they can afford to fly these guys out to multiple events to run these things, right?
Nice.
Because that's the thing. It's like lots of people have tried leagues like this, but just grassroots stuff, you just don't have the money to fly everyone out to all the different events for, this kind of thing, right? So if the people who are all, if the, 6 teams, 3 people, if the 18 players are all just paid by Capcom, their flight and all that stuff like that to get to these events, then it's totally worth it.
So I'm not sure if they're going to be in person or not. That was unclear to me.
Oh, this could be online.
It was unclear. I'm not sure either way, but I've read through it a couple of times, and maybe I missed it, but it seemed unclear to me as to where it would actually take place.
Because if it's all online, that just kills all of the hype at that point in time. So I've been playing Street Fighter Online again.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So I don't know what to say about it. Also, by the way, strange to me that there are 2 seasons but 1 championship. You know what I mean? Like,
what is?
So there's a season that goes from April with tournaments airing every Thursday through May. The season 1 finale will take place in June. The top 2 teams from season 1 will roll into season 2. Season 2 kicks off with the draft in August 2019, and runs through November, culminating in the first North American Pro League champion.
So if it's every Thursday, then it's definitely going to be online.
Seems likely.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, isn't it why phrase it as 2 seasons when there's only one
championship?
This is something that happens in like esports leagues, and it's endlessly confusing to me. Like I've kind of half-assedly tried to pay attention to the Overwatch League,
right,
admittedly, half-assedly, and I feel like there were 5 championships. Like, I don't know. Just I feel like every couple of months there's like a championship, and I don't know which one to take seriously.
Right.
So it's whatever. That's weird to me. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't see why they just if they're
just call it a preseason, then in the season.
If you're gonna ban one person, why don't you just ban everybody? You know, like make it so that you could ban 3 characters total, like from each person, right? So you can't ban Mika from the group. You have to ban Mika from this guy, ban this from that guy, and then you'll have some. But again, then you're just gonna have nothing but secondary characters, and I don't know. It's just not gonna be.
Yeah.
Anyways. Oh, by the way, during the Mortal Kombat stuff, I forgot to ask this question.
Okay.
I really wanted to ask this question, which is, which do you think would be better? The Mortal Kombat Pro Circuit with the K, or the Mortal Kombat Pro Cup with the K?
Cup.
Okay. Because it can't be just the MKPS. Like, it can't be that. It's got to be like Pro Cup or Pro Circuit or something
It's
like
Cup.
that, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's hope that's what they do then. Okay.
Circuit just looks weird. Because if you're replacing one C...
Yeah, I know.
You know, English is just a silly one.
Right,
language.
exactly.
We need better letters.
The Combat Cup. The Champion Cup.
The Champion Cup, yeah. Yeah.
There you go. So...
etc. But with
yeah, that's true. They can't call it the Combat Cup because then that would be the MKKK, and that would not fly.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Spicy.
How about the Master Cup, the MKMK?
Okay. You just call it the MK and just have it be the Mortal Kombat Cup.
It could be the MK squared, MKMK, or it'll sound
All
like
right.
MK.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay.
Anyways. Well, anyway, there's the news about Street Fighter Pro League. Like I said, the team league I think is cool.
Right.
I'm down. I wish it had just been that news rather than the rather mystifying secondary aspect of the bans. Look, for people who are interested in it, I think that's cool. I hope that y'all enjoy it. I'm definitely going to be watching. For sure. I mean, because I'm interested enough in the team aspect of it. I just wish that there wasn't this secondary part, but that's not going to mean that I don't pay attention to it. I still think it's cool.
Would like to, watch it or commentate it.
Sure.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But also, there was another league that was announced.
Yeah, kind of. There was a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate North American Open.
Is this officially
announced?
It's officially Nintendo.
By Nintendo. And the people at Nintendo at the Treehouse.
Okay.
So, it's online battles.
Mm-hmm.
Geography is split up into like 4 quadrants in North America.
Right.
So there's like Southwest, and there's like the South, which includes like Mexico, and there's Northwest and Northeast, which include Canada, and so it's like it's the whole North American continent, which I think is pretty great. I'm down for that.
Because you already said online, so I've already stopped paying attention.
You checked out, huh?
I checked out as soon as you said online, because I have not heard good things about Smash Brothers Online.
That's been my experience, I would say. On top of that, it's single elim items are on. Low, but on. Smash balls are on.
I mean, it could be a fake.
It's time-based.
It could be a fake Smash ball.
Yeah, it could be, I guess. Yeah, it's time-based rather than stock-based. So,
I mean, look.
There you go.
I play like the free-for-all 4 players timer-based. And there's a different strategy to it. There actually is, and there's a legitimate skill to it. But that's not what 99% of the people are doing in terms of the esport realm. So are they going to try to get people like Esam and Zero and Nairo and all these guys to play that, the Buzz and all these guys to play it, and then make them play this janky version?
Indeed they will.
What's the point?
Indeed they will. Well, I don't really know what the point is. I don't know what the reward is. You know what I mean? Like, I look for that on their website, and I'm looking again. I don't think I remember seeing that. Let me know if you did. Let's see. Is there a reward on the rules?
is a flight to PAX.
Prize. Online event prizes. Each winner will, this is on the rules, each winner will receive the following online event prizes. A slot to compete in the final event. A PAX Thursday only badge. But also a PAX Friday only badge, a PAX Saturday only badge, and a PAX Sunday only badge. What? I don't understand that at all. But that's what it says. A total value of $231. 1 round-trip coach class airline tickets. 1. This is verbatim. 1 round-trip coach class airline tickets from a major U.S., Canada, or Mexico commercial airport to the Metro Boston area. All right.
I mean, look.
3 nights lodging in a hotel. $75 per diem.
Are they actually going to have, like, the stage hazards on or off?
Let me see.
Because I was literally playing Smash with Olaf.
Stage hazards off.
Okay. Because we were playing on one stage, and you know how on one stage there's that, I think it's like a mother stage where that little yellow pixelated guy comes out there and he just starts to kick your ass?
I haven't seen it.
Olaf was one who got him, and he just stood in the middle of the screen, Olaf, and was just laughing the whole entire time because that thing was just kicking my ass like the whole time because you just couldn't do anything to it. Flying man, huh? Dude, that, like, the stage hazards are ridiculous. They're so stupid. But even some of the assist trophies are so good now, dude. It's ridiculous. So, items, huh?
What's the final event
The
prize?
first online qualifier is the same weekend as Genesis. Good stuff. According to Curly W.
That's pretty bad. The total ARV, what is that? Something value? I don't know, whatever. Of all available prizes, $29,232. But I think that means...
Yeah, that's part of the tickets.
That's everybody, and not just one person.
And that's tickets and everything, yeah.
Each member of the first place... Is this first platoon? Hold on, I might be looking at this platoon, because it says each member of the first place team of the final event will receive a collectible item, ARV $500 US each.
Eggs.
I'm looking at Splatoon here. Approximate retail value. I don't know. It's not clear to me. Anyway, you're not competing for $1 million.
Yeah. It doesn't sound particularly...
It sounds janky, but it also sounds very much like Nintendo. And I think that the Best of 5 fellows were right when they were talking about it. Nintendo doesn't have much incentive to make it seem like the pro level players are what should be going on. So they are selling absolute gangbusters of Smash Ultimate. It's sold an incredible amount instantly, right? It's like an incredibly well-done game. And so there's this large segment of the population that buys it. They want to play it. And if you make it seem like the aspiration should be that you should be doing all this crazy tech that the top players are doing and playing like a top player, maybe that devalues the game to Nintendo.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Rather than just making it seem like everybody can play. If it's only like, oh, these super good players, maybe the next time people will be like, it's not for me.
Right.
So there's this weird kind of opposite almost of what you would expect incentive where you don't want people to see the highest level of the game.
You want people to be able to suck out on the river, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that way you have Chris Moneymaker winning, and then
Are you calling him an online scrub?
He was that year that he won. Poor Sammy Farha. Anyway, he still
is he? I don't know anything about poker, so.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, there you go. It's a couple of leagues. Important news from major publishers and developers.
I just feel like every time people try to make these decisions, they come up with these ideas. They're just not like talking to people.
So like I said, for Nintendo, I feel like it's literally an incentive for them not to have the max.
Right.
Like I get it for them. I think that's unfortunate for the competitive scene, but I understand it.
Right.
For Street Fighter, it's just another self-own for no reason. That's my perspective. I feel like this is just another time where Street Fighter almost did a cool thing, but there's this other weird thing, and you're just like, what happened? Why'd you do the weird thing? You're almost there. Why did you put a root kit in? Like, you know what I mean? It's just... I don't understand.
Ow!
I don't get it. I really enjoy the game, and then consistently there's some weirdness. I don't know.
It's just like Capcom always tries to do something, but then you go, oh no! And then something bad happens to it. So, anyways, should we move on to the next topic?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Look, if people are looking forward to the bands, that's fine. Clearly, it's going to happen. Like, they're not going to listen to me change the rules. But and I will definitely be paying attention to it too. I'm not turned off enough by it to not pay attention. I still think the idea of a team tournament's cool. I just don't understand why the additional ban rule is there.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay. We were going to talk about Frosty Faustings, but let's switch it up a little bit because we told Persia to get on about 7 p.m.
Okay.
And it is 7 p.m. now.
Ooh.
So let's go ahead. I've switched the topics order around, and let's talk a little bit about the XO Academy, which is something that Persia has been putting a lot of effort into starting up. And rather than trying to talk about it, let's see if we can get Persia on here really quick. I click on this, I am now here, and let's see if I can get Persia. Oops, she's over there. Okay. Oops, now she's down there. Okay, there we go. Sam, can you hear us?
Can you turn the volume on?
Yeah, I have this up here. I don't know if Sam can hear us right now. Can you hear us, Sam? Well,
I see that your name is showing up green, so it's receiving your input, but not from her.
I don't see any green around hers. So she's not even talking that it's picking up at this point in time. So I don't see a green circle around your name, Sam. She says, 1 second. This is always all of our attempts to get people on, so it's like...
Hello?
Hello. There we go. Hey, Sam. Hi. How are you doing, everybody? Just in case you don't know, this is Persia XO, of course, a.k.a. Samantha Hancock. Here, obviously one of the best Marvel commentators that we have out there, doing a lot of stuff for the FGC. And the latest thing that she's been trying to set up is something referred to as XO Academy. And rather than have me summarize it, I would love to have you, Samantha, explain what's going on here.
Yeah, definitely. Just making sure my levels are good. Does everything sound okay?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think anybody I don't think anyone on the chat is saying anything, so that's usually a good sign.
Okay, cool. So, sorry, what was the question? What is XO?
Yes. So let me know what is the story behind this? What are your goals? What is the organization going to do?
Gotcha. So basically, I've always felt like with the right guidance or with the right resources, women are capable of just as much as anybody else in the community. So I figured it would be really cool to try to get a bunch of top quality people together, try to get some quality training and coaching for, girls who are interested in dedicating their time to our community, because I think it's really important for them to learn all these different things if this is something that they really do want to invest their time into, because they're already investing their time into it so much that they really can get more out of it as long as this is what they really want to do. And, everyone that's applied for the Academy so far has been really, really, excited, and even if they, expressing that even if they don't get picked, they are even motivated to keep on trying. And, as we go throughout the year and have more waves per tournament, we're going to be accepting more and more girls. So we currently, I say we, but, it's me. I currently have up to, wave 3 in the works right now. And, I had people confirmed for other 2 waves, but still looking to fill some spots. And, I can't even announce some of those things until Wave 1 is done.
Right.
So there's just so many
That's
things
cool.
in the works, and I'm really excited about it. But I'm mostly excited to see how the first wave goes and, see if this proof of concept is successful, because it's kind of been something I've always wanted to do. And I actually went back and found this old, like, quote unquote business proposal, aka one-page document I put together in Word in 2014.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Like, pretty much with very similar details to this. And even the logo, like first generation version of the logo, I kind of revamped because I did like it, but I wanted to make it more modern, and I wanted it to fit this new vision I had for the initiative. And now that it's coming together, it's so exciting, and like, it's gonna be really good. And the more I do and the more I organize for it, the more I feel like, why isn't there something like this already?
Yeah. And it's really cool because it's one of those things that it's kind of like Combo Queens that Mama Dao has done, has tried to help start up. Is you build this kind of environment, and it encourages a lot more women to get involved in these in esports, in the fighting game community and such. And so I think it's really important. I think this is a great idea. I've already told you that I'm willing to help you out in any way I can, and that is like. Obviously, with all the announcements that you've been making, I am actually a part of helping out with this. So you have a lot of different coaches so far. What's interesting is you started it mostly for players, but then it turned out that a lot of people want to do stuff like content creation and commentary and a bunch of other stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my goal in this was to obviously help these girls get some quality gameplay training, with people that they might not have been able to get training with, and something that's on a consistent basis. But there's a lot of factors when it came into planning this. Like, these guys are top players, and they are focusing not only on their real lives, but their own personal, growth and training, and asking them to dedicate even one day of their time per week for a whole month leading up to a major event is a really tall order. So, getting them on board for something like that is absolutely amazing. And that also tells me I need to pick women who are dedicated and who can absorb knowledge from one session a week to carry them over through the rest of the week until they meet with their coach again. Like, that's something also really important when I'm looking through applications and stuff like that. So, everyone getting involved shows me that everyone does want to see more women doing their thing in this community and really like advancing and growing. And as I started getting people together, I realized, yes, the focus is going to be on competition and leveling up their gameplay. But as we go through this, they need to learn very important skills like media training, making sure, they're always protecting themselves, especially, as women in the community where everyone's, scrutinizing you twice as hard. You kind of do have to be aware of traps and stuff that people can set for you to get you to stumble on your words.
Right.
And, even past that with like physical training and physical therapy, bringing Kate on board to help the girls learn stretches that they can use before, during, after, playing during tournaments to help with their stamina and stuff like that. Like, that's really important stuff that's underrated, but can also help tremendously when it comes to competing, because it's not just about getting on the sticks and playing games. Are you going to be able to survive a 12-hour possible day? When you wake up for 8 a.m. pools or something like that, you have to make sure you're staying healthy too.
Yeah, for sure.
And, I feel like that's something that needs to be taught to people sometimes, because, I don't know the first thing about stretching, but I bet you if I did it every day, I'd feel a lot better and my bones wouldn't be creaking all the time. So
I know about that. Yeah, you definitely would.
Well, let me ask you this, Persia. Like, you've already announced a couple of coaches for everything. Like, so, like, who do you have on board so far with this?
So Wave 1 is leading up to final round. So I have Romanova for Dragon Ball, and her coach is the Kill Sage.
Ooh,
and then I have Pete Chan being coached by Dominion for Street Fighter 5. So they're both, Pete Chan's an ed player, and she's been in the community for a really, really long time, but she's just now starting to take competing more seriously. And, I've seen her level up with her ed from when she first started, taking competing seriously until now. Cool. And that progress is impressive on her own, and with a coach I think would be even better. And Romanova is definitely a reflection of that, and she's been killing it with her cosplay and her own personal podcast, which shows she does have the dedication for this game. She attends her locals every week to improve, and just with that extra boost, I know it can really send her over the top. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is that they have so much potential already. This is just giving them the resources they need to get there without feeling confused or feeling like they don't know what to do next.
Okay. And I know, so like you also have, like you just announced, like Caitlin McGee, for example, for, coaching on the physical therapy. You have a media content announcement as well.
I
right?
have Amanda handling media training.
Nice.
She spent many years and worked with many different organizations and has interviewed just about everyone in our community at this point, it seems, and in other communities too. And she carries so much experience, and she's also been through a lot of hardships. And even despite all that, she puts out great work, she puts out great content, and she never lets anything stop her. And I think she's a perfect example that these girls can learn from her and absorb this stuff. And no matter what comes their way when it comes to this media side of things in esports, like, they're always going to be prepared, and they'll never feel blindsided.
Okay, and then you also had this was super cool to me. You had a coach hired for content creation.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I mean, I feel like everyone in the FGC knows Corey Gaming. I watched so many of his videos and just been like, this is some quality content. Like, these videos, like, they're so meaty, and I love watching like every video he puts out. And some, I'm not gonna lie, when I sent out these messages, I did it with 100% hope in my heart and mind and prayers that, I'd get a positive response and have these people willing to join my team. And, all of you guys did, and it's like so emotional, but I know it's like gonna make everything so great. And like, it's all thanks to you guys that this is so, successful already, and we've barely just started. And everyone wants to give me props, but really it's you guys that deserve all the recognition.
You're doing a lot of work over there.
I mean, so obviously there's also a commentary coach, and I'm the one that's been signed up on that one, so I will be part of the team there and try to help coach for commentary as well. So
awesome, man.
Yeah. And but I mean, it's just continuing to grow for you, right? And I saw that video you retweeted from P-Chan as well, that she got selected. She was so happy about it, and she was like really emotional about it and everything.
Awesome.
So yeah, really excited.
Yeah, like when she actually had sent me that video originally to just like, get her point across, because she couldn't even like type her message. And of course I watched it, immediately started bursting into tears. Like, there was no controlling it. I was just like, I was a mess too, because, it really opened my eyes that I feel so thankful that the last few years in this community have put me in a position where I can help, my fellow women get a step ahead as well. And it just feels so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I've been having conversations with people online. They're always saying like, oh, you know what? Women just don't play competitive games. They're just not interested in it. That's just, in their genes and kind of things like that. I mean, I have my response to that, but I'm curious how what you have to say about that kind of argument.
Well, I have about 49 applications in my inbox that tell me otherwise.
Sweet.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now. And,
very cool.
This is still a small initiative, and, I'm doing everything I can to try to help and grow it so I can get more spots open, like Wave 1, there's only 2 girls, and, everyone knows, I wish I could have more girls per wave, but, for what I want to accomplish, I'm more than happy with taking 2 girls per wave so that each girl can get the quality training they deserve, because this is only a month. I know that the academy and the program sounds so amazing on paper, but this is 1 month after all, and I am asking these girls to dedicate a lot of their time to this program for those 4 weeks, and I'm making sure I'm creating full, complete information kits that have schedules, all their information that they need for every detailed venue, hotel, flight, their schedule down to dates and times and usernames, everything in one place so that they don't feel confused. So, if that means I can only take 2 girls at a time to make sure they're getting the quality they deserve, then I'll do it, So the goal is to eventually grow and maybe get, in a dream world, like 5 girls per wave and sending 5 girls to a tournament. But for now, we'll take care of the ones that we can and, try to get as many people in as we can with what we've got.
So, 2 things. One, I did forget to mention that you also have a cosplay coach as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Vampy.
Of course, Vampy bit me. So, she's obviously super awesome, been involved with the FGC for a very long time, has done a lot of FGC projects.
Which is why I thought she was a great fit. And, every time I see her, she's always super supportive of just everything in general. And
very cool.
That type of energy is the energy you want in a team like this. Someone who's always confident and helping the people around her grow and, always being that ray of sunshine. So I'm really, really happy to have her on board, too. It's really exciting. And, when I made the application for this, I put a lot of questions in there, but, although it might seem simple, I feel like I get to learn a lot about a lot of the people who apply, and commentary and cosplay have to be, 2 of the top interests for a lot lot of these girls applying, and, a lot of them have 3 to 4 different interests as well, so... It's pretty cool to see that, not only do they want to compete, but they want to be involved in more than just one way when it comes to the community. So that's why this special skills team really evolved to what it is, because there will be a focus on competing, but I still want to give those resources for, other interests too, because people have so many avenues available to them to make careers in gaming right now. And if there's anything I can do to help them, succeed in more than just competing, then I'm going to do it.
Right.
It's a great idea.
So people in the chat keeps asking, can we have an official EXO Academy cat? And can Jasmine be that right here? So she's like,
yes.
Okay, awesome, sweet. But somebody in the chat did ask, how can they help EXO Academy if they want to see if they can find some way to help out with it? What can the average viewer do to help out?
Yes, so that is definitely something I'm still trying to figure out 100%, because I'm in this weird place where I know I'm tailoring this experience around, women in the community, but I still wanted the content and the knowledge to be available to anybody who's willing to follow us. But then it's also, important to make sure that we're sustainable at the same time, and we are setting ourselves up for growth and not just, giving out more than we can, give.
Right.
So I'm kind of considering making a Patreon and allowing you guys to, subscribe to different levels of tiers to access different levels of content, because on top of having the content for special skills trainings and the actual gameplay trainings, we are going to have the girls do weekly vlog updates so you can get their perspective and their thoughts on their program so far and what they've done. We are also requiring each girl to attend at least one offline event per week. So that is
let's go.
Definitely up to me working with them, because I know not everyone's gonna have a local weekly event. Luckily, the 2 we're starting with do. So it's making the first wave very, very smooth. But I have backup plans in mind, such as, if they're comfortable holding a session in their home, and we provide them with a little pop bonus and they can have, a little house tournament or something like that. Just offline sessions are just so important, especially for these girls going into tournaments, and some of which might have never even been to a major event before. Right. So that's the type of experience I want them to get under their belt too. And, just being able to help offer, alternatives is kind of what I've been searching for the most. I also want the girls to be streaming all of their practice sessions, and I have a portable streaming laptop available for anyone we invite on that don't have a stream, so that they can get their stream started, and I'm going to create, a stream package for them to use. It's all about boosting them and giving them a platform and giving them opportunities, because it's just important.
It sounds awesome, and it sounds like you're doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
If you do make the Patreon, please let us know so that we can help pump it out.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
For sure.
you know, one thing I just wanted to tack on, you know, I asked that question, you know, I talked about how a lot of guys, like when they argue with me, every time I talk about women in gaming, they're, you know, when they tell me that, you know, girls just don't like to compete as much, you know, and, you know, I talk about this. It's about normalizing the concept of them competing, right? Because the ultimate way you have to look at it is just look at tennis right now, right? It's very normal for a woman to compete in tennis. They win just as much prize money as the guys do. That was actually just happened recently, that the tournaments actually started equalizing the pay. And there are just a ton of women competing in tennis, and there's never a shortage of them, right? So as long as you provide the environment for them, they're absolutely willing to compete in these kind of things. They are absolutely just as competitive as anybody else. So, you know,
To be honest, women are more competitive than men, and that's often why a lot of them get turned off to the scene, because fighting games are difficult to learn, and that pride behind losing when you're so competitive is tough to swallow sometimes. And honestly, I think that's why a lot of women, you know, kind of back down and take a casual route.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So, I mean, like I said, as soon as I heard you announce this, I immediately reached out to you, and I was just like, let me know what I can do to help. So I'm glad to be able to see if I can do something to help.
For sure.
This, so,
hey, if there's anything I can do to help too, please let me know. I'd be happy to do anything you
can
need.
coach people in the law side of things. That actually would be kind of
that
cool.
would be awesome. Honestly, I feel like that's something that's really important.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's something I'd be happy to talk about, for sure.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Cool. Cool. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to say about this or to add on to this?
Oh man, I feel like we talked about it all, and I'm just really excited. And you know, I know it's something new. It's something new for me too, and I'm trying my best to make it the best it could be. So just appreciate everyone's support and patience and excitement, because it really also keeps me going and lets me know I'm on the right track too.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's really great. I'm really happy you're doing it. Good job.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh, and also huge shout outs to Chase and Kinder Party. Kinder Party for linking me up with Chase, and Chase for helping make this whole thing happen. Like, those two have been a super awesome support system, and like basically the spark to a lot of this too, and helping me revamp this project.
Okay.
Very cool.
That's awesome. So again, guys, if you want to learn more information about it, you can obviously follow Persia on Twitter. I have her Twitter down here on the screen right there. But you can also follow the EXO Academy Twitter, which is EXO Academy FGC, and see all the announcements and keep up to date with that. So that way, if there is a Patreon or any other way to support, it'll be announced there. So definitely follow that to keep up with the news with that. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
All right, thanks for
hanging out late at night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace out, Sam. And remember, it's not that
That's
late for her, too, because she's in the same time zone as we are now. So
Wait, really?
she's in Vegas now.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, she's in Vegas now.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not super late for her. It's still pretty early. So there you
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
Cool.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, that's obviously something that does need to happen. I think it's a very admirable and important goal.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she's doing a lot of great work, and hats off to you and all the other people who are involved with helping to make it happen as well.
Yeah, shout out to Sage Gnosis and Chase and all the other, guys who are involved with the project, being here in the chat, guys and girls here.
Good job, y'all.
Helping out with that. So thank you.
Very cool stuff.
Yep. Okay, cool. So that's the EXO Academy. I just really felt like I wanted to have an opportunity to shout that out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very important stuff to talk about.
Let's talk about some events that happened this weekend.
Let's do it.
Frosty Faustings was this weekend. And again, I managed to go there. Shout outs to Elvin Shadow for flying me out and hiring me for commentary. Second year I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the event. It's like a smaller combo breaker.
Okay.
It has that feel. It still has that community feel. And they've got run every game, and there's just like so much, and it's getting so big.
I was just gonna say, I heard that it's not that much smaller than Combo Breaker.
Is it not? Does it count as not much smaller now?
Like maybe in terms of absolute numbers, but in terms of ranking of most entered tournaments, it's not that far behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is, at the very end, they announced that Frosty Faustings was moving to a new venue in 2020, so they have to increase the venue size just to get everybody in there.
Very cool.
Did you have a link to the?
I put it in the Google Doc. Yes, I have them up. Right.
Oh, you have them up. Okay, cool. So, again, they just run every event, but the coolest thing about it is that it's still an anime tournament at heart. So, Elvin Shadow, one of the top U.S. Faust players. Sure. So Frosty Faustings, right. No surprise, that's what it is. And so they play everything over there, but Guilty Gear is still the main event. 250 plus people for Guilty Gear at this event. I think that and Smash Ultimate were like the number one games at this event. And, obviously BB Tag was there, Blaze Blue Central Fiction. It was a part of the Arc Revo World Tour. So whoever won this qualifies for the Arc Revo World Tour. So, shout outs to the Arc Revo World Tour, supporting Frosty Faustings, for supporting an event that has done so much to support Guilty Gear in the past.
So it's the 4th largest U.S. tournament. Wow. That's
really?
Incredible.
Dang, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Okay. Good stuff. Because, look, you go there and you feel it. It's like there's that community. There's something about it just being, like, it was a small venue and there's that weird feeling of that crampedness. But, it's like that. It had that energy. Cool. So even because it bleeds into the hallways now. The hallways just have the tournaments everywhere. The hotel just lets them take over the whole hotel.
Isn't it where UFGT used to be?
Is it the same venue?
That's what I heard, but I don't know if that's accurate.
Okay. I've never been to UFGT.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you had gone. So.
Yeah, but like the hallways are so like I put up a video on Twitter of
it's not?
Okay. Of the Marvel 3 tournament. Like it was Reedman versus somebody else, but like everyone was just going nuts and everyone's like screaming and yelling, and it's just like it's just a nice feeling, And then also, I say this every year, but shout outs to them for making it a 2-day event. Yeah. More, the Sunday finals is a cool thing, but not every event needs to do that. Yeah. It just really doesn't.
So is it a Saturday finals or is it just Saturday. Every game?
Yeah, everything.
Well, but do games all start on Friday and then the top 8 are on Saturday?
No. Some things just start on Saturday and some things will just finish on Friday. Yeah. It just depends on what it is, right? So some tournaments will just run. So Guilty Gear and I forget, there was a couple of other games that were the only games that had pools on 2 days. Street Fighter was only run on Saturday. Cool. And they finished, second to last. And then finally they ended with that. But Guilty Gear, Smash Ultimate, I think like Skullgirls, a whole bunch of events run at the same time and stuff like that. Got it. But there's just like a billion streams going on all the time, and it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I had a great time there again.
So what do you do on Sunday?
Oh, everyone either just goes home, or there's an after party. There's a place called Raid Gaming Center that was basically run by a lot of the guys who ran the Low Kick stream. And they just have a gaming center there, and everyone just goes there. And it was really cool because, like, I was there for a little bit on Sunday because my flight wasn't till the evening. And you go in there, and there's just, like, setups everywhere. They busted out all these setups. And it was, like, Guilty Gear. There was BB Tag. There was Blaze Blue Central Fiction. I saw some people playing Koime Enbu, which I didn't recognize at all because I barely have ever seen the game. Yeah. And someone was walking around, they were like, I can't find a Street Fighter setup. Like, there was no Street Fighter setup, but that's what's cool because it's like, it is the anime, it was kind of like the anime tournament. So it was actually really, really cool.
Very cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And again, great matches. Every time I go there, I'm so inspired to play Guilty Gear again. And I'm probably going to start up my lobbies again.
Oh, nice, man. That's very cool.
God, it was so hyped to watch those.
Yeah, look at these entry numbers. So I found it on Smash EG. So Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2 had 247.
Dang.
BB Tag had 187. DBFZ had 184. Soul Calibur had 181. Under Night had 177.
Yeah, there's a lot of Under Night that was in there for the
Tekken
casual.
had 172.
Dang.
SF5 had 164. These are packed tournaments. These are huge, man.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, just talking about the results, there was only one Japanese player who made it out for Guilty Gear. There's a lot of Japanese players that made it out for like BB Tag and stuff, but Teresa got third place in Guilty Gear. But, shoot, some of those matches were, like, the match between Teresa and Kizzy K was ridiculous. And man, I don't know if you know much about Teresa, but Teresa is the most biggest, lovable Japanese player ever, because every time he wins or loses, you just like, he'll lose and everybody's world has been crushed. Because he looks so sad, and it's just, he wears the emotion on his sleeve.
Okay, all right.
He unfortunately had a "what are you standing up for" moment.
Really?
He didn't realize losers finals was 3 out of 5, and he won 2 on a ridiculous comeback, and he jumped up and started popping off, and then they were like, it's 3 out of 5, and he was like, oh no, and then he lost the next 2 games. So yeah,
big bummer.
But man, like I was, because I'm rooting for Kizzy K, because he's my SoCal boy,
for
right?
Sure.
So. Dude, when he was playing against Teresa, I was like, let's go, Kizzy K! But I love you anyway, Teresa, because like I couldn't root against him.
So Teresa got 3rd, won up Peppery Splash, got 2nd with Venom.
Dude, that's the crazy part. He's been a hardcore Johnny player.
Okay, I thought that was right.
And in a year, he picked up Venom, which is a step backwards. Because Johnny's like the best character in the game. Yeah, in Tears.
But Venom's hard to play, right?
Yeah, and Venom's super hard to play, and he did better this year than he did the previous year.
Sick, okay.
And dude, when you watch his
4-month Venom, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 4 months? Jesus, God. Because when I watched him play, like he had a mastery over that character that I haven't seen from a lot of people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, shout outs to Sanchez as well. He got in like top 24 or something like that.
He got 13th place. Look at that.
Dude,
Make him a MacGyver with Answer. Sick.
Dude, his Answer was
That's super cool.
Sick.
Nice job, dude.
And then also shout outs to, scroll down just a little bit. Let me see if I can see him there. Oh, he's just made it outside of the top 32, but Waxel.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was just walking around. I finished the commentary gig. I'm walking and I heard, James! And I turned and I saw Mike, and I swear to God it was like I saw a ghost. You know, because I was like I couldn't like place it. You know, I was like, wait, is that Mike Ross? Am I just like dreaming now or something? But
okay.
Yeah, he was there. Oh, so he did make top 32. Okay.
Yeah, 17th place.
Oh, 17th place. There you go. Yeah, so he did really, really well. So, dude, it was awesome to see him there. Cool. But yeah, he went to go play Guilty Gear specifically. So yeah, I saw him and his brother there too.
Oh, so, that's cool.
Yeah.
So UIU Kizzy K won the whole thing?
Yes, UIU Kizzy K won the whole thing. So he is qualified for the ARC Revo Tour, which will be taking place at September this year in Los Angeles.
Oh,
so yeah. So the final is going to be in Los Angeles.
Very cool.
So he gets a free trip. You know, the long journey.
Wow. That's awesome though.
But you know, top 48. They said every character was in there except Potemkin, which not a shock. Because he's just bad. He's just bad. But they said in like top 16 was like 16 unique characters, and top 8 was like 7 or 8 unique.
All right,
characters.
Let's see this. So I'm just going to read them from the top to the bottom of that.
Sure.
16. Sin, Venom, Jam, Elfelt, Eno, Chip, Raven, Soul, Dizzy, Elfelt, Jam, Kai, Biken, Faust, Milia, Answer.
Yep, that's 16 different.
Continuing. May, Leo, Raven, Slayer, Coom, Axel, Leo, Ramlethal.
Yeah, Leo's the only repeat in there. He's literally the only repeat in that whole list. That's ridiculous.
There's a Raven as well.
Oh, there's 2 Ravens.
And a
okay.
repeat Jam. But anyway.
14 different characters.
Anyway, yeah. Amazing cast.
That is a ridiculous turnout right there. So,
very cool.
Yeah. And then Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle was won by Kame. I think it's how it's Kame. Who defeated Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really funny because Jonah has just been winning like everything recently, and he always seems so nonchalant about everything. Like he just wins. Like he was on Arc Live one time.
I saw the show. Yeah.
We're like, so how do you feel about it? You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like really, you're like winning all these things at Climax of Night. He's like, yeah, it's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
But that was really cool to see. So Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. And also shout outs to Elvin Shadow too, because he asked me, he was like, what games do you want to commentate?
Yeah. And
I was like, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, and I was like, put me on Cross Tag.
Okay.
And he's like, you know Cross Tag? I'm like, I want to do Cross Tag.
Okay.
And so I actually got to do some Cross Tag, which was actually super cool to do. Yeah.
That is cool. I didn't watch that much. I was doing other stuff on Friday and Saturday, but literally the only footage I saw of that tournament was the side footage of Seth Lowell
and Flux. Yes.
Where he Seth Lowell literally killed Flux's team in a combo.
Yeah, like Flux actually talked to him about that. He's like, I called an assist.
Yeah.
He hit him,
Yeah.
and he activated,
Yeah.
and he started comboing, and he said that right there, he turned him and was like, Game 3?
Yeah.
Because he literally killed him.
Yeah.
And that is so Seth Lawal that he's picked
It's perfect. It's a perfect team
Akihiko
for him.
Azrael,
Yeah.
who are like not necessarily great characters,
Yeah.
but he just knows a way to
Pump
kill
damage.
you in one.
Well, they're definitely super damaging. So once he finds
Yeah.
the hit, yeah, dude, that is awesome. What a good game.
Dude, I had so much
Why'd you
fun.
call an assist, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, the game is so good. And dude, like after Saturday night was it? Yeah, it was Saturday night. Like instead of trying to get some sleep, I was just up playing BB Tag on my Switch. I was just like, I just want to remember all my combos now. And on the plane there, I was just like playing it all day just to refresh a bunch of stuff
dude.
and everything. So on Blaze Blue Central Fiction, that was won by Dora Bang.
Indeed.
So he is qualified now.
Over
So
SKD.
yeah, so he qualified for Arc Revo there.
Got it.
And so did Kyame. He qualified for Arc Revo now up there. So
Okay.
but
Soul Calibur 6 was won by Sandman with Oswald and Siegfried.
yeah, I need to go
This was
watch
not played on the
footage.
latest patch, right?
No, they purposely did not do that because it was literally one day, and especially the Raphael players would have gotten like
makes sense.
really, really screwed,
got
right?
changed,
Yeah.
Yeah. Although there was only one Raph. And
Oh, cool! Curly W put this clip up there of Flux getting destroyed.
You got
Yeah.
lit up.
Uh-huh.
Red Blade won Under Night with Wagner or Wagner.
I just call her Wagner. So.
Cool. SF5 was won by Punk with Karen and Ryu
Dude, this
over El Chakotay Mika.
it was crazy
Oh,
because
shoutouts to Mike Too Strong.
Mike Too Strong. He said that was his second event ever,
Wow.
and I was like, what?
He got fifth with Zangief.
Yeah, with there was 3 Zangiefs in top 24, all in loser side. So we were like, oh.
Zangief high tier?
Yeah. But dude, so I was excited for El Chakotay because I was hoping he would win it because then last year was won by Mojo and then he could have defended the Midwest again.
Okay.
But dude, like, again, me and Yipes were doing commentary and we kept trying to say this on commentary, like we're not trying to be mean to El Chakotay, but he definitely got like a wake-up call on what it's like to play against someone like Punk. Because it was literally, Punk was coming from loser side. He was sent to losers by Brian F, and then he beat Brian F in losers bracket to get to third place match, and he got to grand finals. And El Chakotay perfected Punk on round number 1.
Okay.
From there, he did not win a single round.
Damn.
And Punk was dropping all of his combos just to kill him by throwing him and stuff
Really?
like that.
Oh, he's
Like,
being a dick about it.
yeah, so like he would like combo into command dash, throw, and then he would kill him, even though the combo would have killed him. Like you could tell Punk was toying with him at some point in time, and it was a brutal wake up call.
Interesting.
I felt like. So.
I know El Chakotay's beaten very strong players
Yeah,
in previous tournaments. Like Punk level players, like very strong players. Maybe being in grand finals is a different beast,
exactly.
right? Just the fact you're in grand finals.
And the way that I described it while I was on commentary too, because I mean,
Tokido,
it was just like it was a bus ass as Yipes was calling it, right? It's just you're watching it, but you talk about it and you're like, it's gonna make him stronger because he's gonna be able to go back and watch this footage and see what it is that Punk was doing into him. But again, for me, one of the things that made me happy to see though was that Punk, I feel like, is getting back to Punk. Right, he's getting back to that cocky kind of personality.
I felt that was happening at the end of last year anyway, right? So I'm happy to see it continue.
Yeah, it's funny because literally it was like me, Chris G, and Punk were all sitting there talking, and Chris G was like, "Humble Punk sucks." He was like, "Humble Punk sucks. Cocky Punk is the best player out there."
Got it.
And we were all like, "You need to be that cocky Punk again," and stuff like that. So
I can see that.
yeah. So, but shout outs to Mike Too Strong as well, getting into that top 8 with Zangief.
That is really cool.
He looked really, really strong. So.
Yeah, I think that character's pretty good. I just don't think top tier, but I think he's pretty good. Smash Bros. Ultimate was won by UR Earl of M with Lucina. And Frosty got second place at Frosty Faustings with Richter,
awesome.
Pokemon Trainer, and Ridley. That's cool. That's pretty good character variety in there too. Lucina, Richter, Pokemon Trainer, Ridley, Palutena, Ike, Pokemon Trainer, Greninja, Link, Ganondorf, and Palutena. That's the top 8.
Okay.
Pretty cool. DBFZ was won by Hook Gang God over Chris G, and I heard it was a blow-up. I didn't watch it, but I heard it was a blow-up.
The grand finals was a blow-up. But up to there, I mean, it was pretty cool because Chris G, he told me, he's like, I haven't placed well in a Dragon Ball tournament in a long time.
Right, okay.
So he was actually really happy about his placement here.
Yeah, because, I mean, that looks like a strong event. Nakio got 3rd, Super Noon 4th, The Kill Stage, and Cloud 5 5th.
Yeah.
Those are very strong players.
Yeah, Lord
Wrath
Knight,
and
Peppery
Scrap
Splash,
7th. Yeah,
Angelic is down there, Yohozi down there as well. So
yeah, that's a good one. Second 7 was won by Shadow 20Z.
Mm-hmm.
Third Strike was won by Chris G with whoever he wanted to play that day, Yang and Ryu.
Although they said that at least the opponent was good enough that he couldn't win it with Sean. Like he has in previous tournaments.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was it last year when he ate Sanchez's soul?
I think it was
last
actually.
Year at Frosties?
I think it was, yeah.
Oh man, that was tough.
Hook had a sick comeback against Nakiel, huh? Okay.
Sanchez is not listed in the top 8, but
I don't think he entered it. I think he was only focusing on Guilty Gear.
That's
this
cool.
weekend,
I mean, he did great in Gear. That's awesome. Vampire Saviors won by Yeti Ghetto Slang with Sasquatch. Skullgirls won by Kill Sage.
He was so happy about that, by the way. Yeah, he was so proud about winning it, and he even was on Twitter. He's like, Skullgirls is like the best game. I'm so happy that I won in that and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Marvel Infinite won by Dual Kevin. ST was won by OMG The Undying.
Okay, so that's Immortal. That's Brent, the Immortal.
Okay.
Now he's from the Immortal to Undying, right?
Okay.
So whatever. Dude, he... so I was doing commentary with Roy Bissell, right, who's now Frank Old Man or something like that. I mean, I forgot what, Old Man Frank is what he is, right?
Oh, wow,
right?
nice.
So I only know him as Roy Bissell.
Yeah.
But he was saying that Brent is normally a very passive guy, but he was like, he put up his last year's trophy on the TV while everybody was playing. And Frank even had a $20 bounty if you could knock him to losers and a $30 bounty if you could beat him, if you could eliminate him, because he just wants him to lose. He wants the scene to step up against him. Yeah. So, but what was actually cool was that last year after the top 8 finished, people were like, I want to play you, James. Can I sit down and play you? And so I sat down and played, and then everyone just lined up and started to play me, right? Yeah. And so literally this year, Elvin Shadow scheduled that. He scheduled the Chen Challenge after the top 8 Super Turbo. So I sat down and played a bunch of people, and I commentated my own matches.
Did you? Oh,
too.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
always fun.
I was like, oh yeah, so this fight sucks for Cammy, shock, because this and blah, blah, blah. And that was actually really a lot of fun.
Dude. That's awesome.
Fun,
that does sound fun.
I had to face Robin, Robin Palm, and he's a boxer.
Oh, he went? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he played boxer.
Oh, he lives out in that area, actually. That makes sense.
Played boxer, and I was
he plays boxer. Yeah.
Really? And then he just destroyed me,
character.
and I died. So he came back up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to switch to Zangief.
Okay,
Zangief, and I beat him with Zangief. So there you go.
Yep.
Renegade, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The VODs are all up. Will English IV, Will English 4 is the streamer, and I think he's dude, they all wanted me to take shots of Malort every time I lost. And
something about Malort.
I've heard that stuff is nasty.
Me too. I haven't had it.
And I just did not want to do that. So, granted, I think I would have only taken maybe 3 shots the whole time. So, because I definitely beat almost everybody that I played. So.
Did you beat Brent?
He didn't challenge me. He left. Wow. He left right away.
Wow.
So. But I did lose the Papa Claw. So I lost to his Vega.
Okay.
So,
okay. Well, that's a pretty good character. Yeah. Teresa won Guilty Gear XX Accent Corp. Lazar. Yep. Chris G won Marvel 3. Joey D got second. That's cool. That sounds like a fun tournament.
Yeah.
Joey D, Angelic, Reedman, iMesh Buttons. I Heart Justice went. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
KOF 14 won by Dechimo. That's it.
Yeah, Melty Blood Actress again. Melee, Killer Instinct.
Yeah. Oh,
again.
We had Sweat Wheels won Killer Instinct.
Oh, yeah.
He's super good. Won with Cargo.
Injustice 2 was won by Burrito Voorhees. He was there. He beat Punk, and Punk got second. I think Chris G got in there somewhere. Oh, no, he's not in there. Okay. Tatsunoko versus Capcom was won by K-Beast.
Dang, wow, he's still playing that game.
Yeah. Sailor Moon as Fighting EX Layer, Guilty Gear Exit Rev 2 on 2 teams. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff going on, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And it sounds like a fun event.
Cool. Yeah, I had a really good time there again. So
Cool, man.
I really enjoyed it, and Elvin Shadow, he's just like the nicest guy. He's so humble and just everything, and he seems so grateful to have his tournament, be getting that big and stuff like that. So
From all accounts I've heard, it sounds like a very well-run event. Like there's a lot of fun stuff going on too.
it snowed a lot outside too. So.
I don't know if you controlled that part of it.
No, but I got to go outside and I was.
Oh, this is a good thing for you.
Yeah, for me it was cool.
This is very funny.
Because
because this is unusual for James, but everybody else there was probably just like, ugh.
Yeah, they're like, God, now how am I going to drive home?
Yeah.
And I walked outside. I was like, oh my God, it's snowing! Look how cool this is. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
so.
man.
Yeah. I met Boats and Joe's there last year. I ran into Nutacon, who's another guy on my stream all the time. Those two are on my stream all the time. And I was like, hey, is Joe here? And he's like, oh, he couldn't make it this year. So I missed you, Joe. So there you go. Yeah. I am like a dog when I see the snow.
The first time I moved to Washington, D.C. for school and it snowed, I went outside and I did snow angels. And our dorm, this is in law school, it sounds weird now, but I was in law school dorms on campus, right outside the dorm, as people were walking to class. And there's this idiot from Southern California doing snow angels in law school. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but it made sense.
Yeah, that's right. Nutacon actually ended up rooming with Jabali because Jabali needed a room.
That's cool.
And he was like, hey, want to join me? And then there's like a video of Jabali. Like apparently he tried to scrape the ice off the car, and Nutacon's like, if you keep up at this, we're going to be here forever. So there's this video of Jabali in the car with like Nutacon like scraping all the ice off of it because Jabali couldn't do it.
The novelty definitely wore off. That was the last time I did the snow.
Dude, I caught snowflakes on my tongue.
Sure, gotta do it.
Because that's a Peanuts thing, right? They always do that in the Charlie
try.
Brown cartoons and stuff like that. So
I talked them all about MK11 earlier.
Yes,
but
we already talked about that. So
you can rewind. Oh, if you're watching on YouTube, you can rewind. Twitch doesn't have that capability.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone on YouTube would just say, "Hey, let's jump into the 2 hour and 15th minute," and then go, "Oh, I should rewind to see all the MK stuff."
Hey, but if you want to, there it is. All right, anything else to say about Frosties?
No.
Cool. Looks like a good event. There was also Glitch 6, which is a pretty big tournament when it comes to Smash Bros.
Brothers.
And like I said, I was mostly not watching streams this weekend. I was a little busy, but I did briefly watch the grand finals.
Shout out to Elvin Shadow who just ran into the chat.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Nice work out there.
Again, thank you, Mr. Mike.
Oh, and as I think we briefly addressed it, but it sounded like Frosties will be in a different venue next year.
It'll be a much bigger venue.
Cool.
So this venue also was small, that a lot of people had to do the thing where you had to go into the hotels in 4 different hotels because there just wasn't enough room in this one.
Yeah.
The new venue is going to have 400 plus rooms, so it should be able to accommodate just about everybody.
And do you know where? Same general area, I imagine?
I don't know the area well enough, so I saw the city name and it didn't mean anything to me, so we'll see if anybody else in the chat says anything. So
anyway, that's cool.
Wheeling, it's in Wheeling. It's closer to O'Hare.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah.
So there you
go.
Cool.
Awesome.
I did get my Chicago pizza as well. So.
Which one?
Giordano's. They delivered to the venue, so I just ordered a personal pizza delivery just so I could make sure I had some. So before I left.
Giordano's is a good one.
It's really good.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
That's definitely, like, even for me, a personal pizza from one of those places is like dinner and breakfast.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But really good. Anyway, that's it for Frosties. Like I said, there was also Glitch 6, and in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Tweak took it. I watched Grand Finals, and it was really cool.
Okay.
He took it over Nairo. He won it with Wario.
Okay.
So even in the last game, he was playing Donkey Kong. He's still playing Donkey Kong. He also played young Link. So it's really cool for me to watch him play because those are characters who play quite differently. You know what I mean? Like Wario's really cool and mobile.
He's such a weird character.
He's a very weird mobile character. Donkey is definitely the big dude, and Young Link is definitely the zoner. So it's really cool to watch the different styles of those characters.
That's awesome. Okay.
Nairo got second with Lucina and Palutena, then Light, then MK Leo, and so forth. It was a really good tournament to watch, and really good character variety. Yeah, it looked cool to me. Like,
Dude,
I didn't get to watch that much of it, but I really enjoyed what I did see.
Yeah, I had a stream recently where I was just talking about all the different games, and I was talking about the Smash one, and it sounds like most Smash players are really happy with Ultimate so far.
I've heard the same.
Yeah, it seems like that they're really excited about it, and it's not anything like it was for Smash Wii U, or Smash 4, I should say, that people were like, on the fence and stuff like that. So I think the game is awesome.
Me too.
I love it.
It's a blast.
So much.
It's really fun to play. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I like both sides of it for sure.
It's fast too.
It is
the
fast.
Characters die.
It is fast.
And you know what's cool? Because the game came out like at first, like everyone was like Ridley's terrible, but now like people are figuring out things with Ridley and stuff like that. So yeah,
for sure. Anyway, that was cool. Yeah, it was a big event. There was also doubles, whatever.
Was there no Melee there?
I guess it was only Smash.
Dang, it was only Smash Ultimate. Dang, okay. Yeah, it's not super fast. It's not Melee fast, okay? But compared to Brawl and Smash Wii U, it's definitely faster. Because Smash Wii U wasn't necessarily that it was slow. It's just it took forever to kill people.
I mean, it was both slower movement-wise and also took forever to kill.
Yeah.
So.
So it is a Smash Ultimate only event.
I'm really stoked for Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, that game
really
is
cool.
Super cool. So
550 players participating in singles.
Dude, this game is dominating.
I was having this conversation with Jabali. We both think it's plausible that it has the most entrants at EVO.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's going to be a question. It had the most entrants at Frosty Faustings, right? And then there was that one person who put that post out that there was like 7 weeklies that had over 100 entrants in it on the same week around the country. Like, that's ridiculous.
My brother, who likes Smash a lot, I mean, he doesn't play competitively really, but he is interested in it.
Right.
He was like, David, why aren't you commentating Smash Ultimate? It's, first of all, clearly the best game, and second of all, clearly has the most people watching it and playing it. And he's just like thinking about it like in terms of how much money can you get for like doing a thing? And I was like, it doesn't really quite work that way.
Right.
Like, hey everybody, I'm doing Ultimate now.
Right. Not only that,
point taken though. It definitely has the most people.
There's also not that much money in
well,
Smash
okay,
scene,
fine.
right? Because they don't have the company support. So but anyways, okay. Anything else you want to say about Glitch?
No, it seemed like a cool game to watch. Though.
We didn't really have anything for a 5-5 matchup, and we'll go ahead and skip that for now. But Soul Calibur patch came out.
It did.
Have you had a chance to mess with it a little bit?
I mean, I briefly looked into it. I'm happy because Astaroth got some buffs, and there were some both quality of life buffs and also some nice speed ups to some of his buttons.
Yeah.
His grabs got faster.
Grabbing,
when you charge his grabs, they are break attacks. Pretty sick.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
That's
being
super
able to
cool.
break guard impacts and reversal edges is huge.
That's really nice. Raph got weaker.
Yeah, he got nerfed. I saw Talum got buffed a bunch because I know she's been considered pretty bad. I'm happy Killick got mostly buffs. He even got one buff that I was super happy about.
Okay.
Because I think I told you before, so he has BBB as a chain, right? So he goes attack, and then the last hit's a break, right? If you set the computer to do reversal edge as fast as possible, and you make him activate reversal edge, and you go BB, and you start the second B, you'll get hit by the reversal edge before the third B actually hits him, even though it's a break. It's just that's how long this. Yeah, but they sped it up, and now it actually hits.
Oh, okay,
I was like, thank you.
That makes sense.
Thank you. 2B was nerfed. Well, I was surprised. A lot of characters actually got like stronger, and there was a good balance between Ivy. I thought she was going to get nerfed a bunch, but she got both buffs and nerfs and stuff like that. So I think it really did well. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't consider myself an expert in that game, but I'm in a couple of the Discords and stuff. And it seemed that people were in general happy with changes. Some people thought that there was a little bit overboard on like Raph, for example.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the reaction that I've seen is positive.
Right.
And definitely from, I'm in the Astaroth Discord, and those guys were pretty happy about it.
Dude, I'm also going to say this, but shout outs to Bandai Namco for excellent patch notes.
Those are very nicely done patch notes. I love, they go through each character, They even say there's an arrow up or an arrow down, so you can just automatically know. Like if you don't want to spend the time to look through all the changes, you can just be like, all right, how many up arrows are there?
Yeah. Some of them are up and down, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And then they even, every character has a summary. Like, we want this character to play like this.
Right.
So we changed it so they would be more like this. And then every change, a lot of the changes had explanations attached with them. Some of them were just, like, made slower. But some of them were like, to make up for the fact that this happened, we're going to do this and da-da-da-da-da. And it was, like, that is excellent quality patch notes. That is a standard to adhere to now. So
it would be nice if that English translation came out when at the same time as the Japanese notes. Like it'd be cool if they were simultaneous rather than having to wait for a little bit. But still, can't complain too much. Like you were saying, awesome patch notes.
Yeah, Taki got a bunch of buffs. So. Did I say Talon earlier? Or did I say
You did
Taki?
say Talon.
I meant Taki. Taki, people were saying, isn't very strong. So hers is just like buffs all over.
Wow, okay.
And I was like, I bet you Flo is happy.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry. That was my bad. Wrong character there. So.
All right. I'm starting to get to the point in SF5 where I feel like I'm not the worst player in the world anymore. So I might go back to Soul Calibur and BB Tag faster than I expected.
Yeah, for me,
I'm really looking forward to that.
I've been trying to use a bunch of new characters, and so I've been losing a lot in Street Fighter V. That's just how it works, right? Yeah, that's just how it works. You expect that. Yeah. But then I was like, I really want to teach again, right? So yesterday I did a whole session where I played Cammy again, just so I could teach, because I don't have to learn the character. Yeah. And she's the best teaching character because she's so straightforward. Super easy. And I started the day like in Ultra Silver or something like that, but I won most of my matches, so I was like, okay, you know what, I still know how to play this game. And actually, I felt like I was doing better with the game just because I'm starting to understand, the Street Fighter RPS a lot more, just like the whole nuances of it. And in fact, even during commentary at Frosty Faustings, I was calling out back rolls and quick rises a lot more and stuff like that, as you suggested, because I feel like that's an important thing to point out. Because people getting hit by wake-up jabs is usually a result of that, not just wake-up jabs are too good.
Exactly right, it's a defensive mix-up for sure. Right. This is a good point. So they mention in the Soul Calibur patch notes for a couple of the moves that they changed things to make them more palatable for online play. Yeah. What do you feel about that?
I didn't see anything that was too crazy. I didn't see anything like massive dumbing this down or anything like that. So I don't think. Some of them said that some moves just for some reason had different values of some sort of property based off of online, and they normalized that. So I don't think it was anything crazy. So.
I'm okay with it. I don't want the game to be primarily balanced around online play, but I do understand why a developer would want to make it so that their online play is enjoyable. So it's nice when those two things overlap, right? When offline play and online play overlap. But to the extent that by making a change for the online, you're not ruining something for the offline.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool with me. It's fine with me.
And I was trying to see. Someone said something in here, and I can't. Yeah, look.
That's right. Yeah, the nerf to Siegfried's little throw where he throws you behind. Where it doesn't ring out is pretty weird.
Yeah, was it him or was it Nightmares?
I think it's, as far as I know, it was both. 'Cause they had the same option.
Okay.
Unless is it just Siegfried? I thought it was.
Okay. It was both. Okay, it was both. Okay. But yeah, look, the netcode sucks on so many of these fighting games right now, dude. It's just, oh god, it's so painful. Yeah, even Xianghua, I think, got some of her ring outs nerfed as well, where she's just flip you over her head and ring you out. I heard it's like.
Meanwhile, I'm doing reversal edge, B button.
Yeah, I know, right? But netcode, and oh man, it's so frustrating. That's another thing I'm super excited about MK11, because NRS's netcode has been great.
You don't have to worry about that.
Killer Instinct, Skullgirls, those are all the 3 games with the amazing netcode, all of them developed by Western developers. And
weird.
I don't know if that just means that they're better at doing it, or if that just means that at least they're catering towards the U.S. infrastructure. Yeah, whereas in Japan, everything over there is great. Because when I watch the online tournaments for Street Fighter V in Japan, they look like offline tournaments.
Yeah, they're making decisions that seem like you're reacting to things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's more about that.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool. Well, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid
that's right. It's a
was announced
new fighting game that was announced
for all the various systems. Did you see the trailer?
I did see the trailer, yes.
What did you think about the trailer?
I mean, it's not based off of the mobile one. So apparently, because the mobile one I heard is pretty bad, right? So apparently it's a brand new engine and everything like that. So it looks like a newish kind of game right now. The animations are a little kind of, on the interesting side and stuff. But
Okay.
I'm just interested to see, because it got announced that Justin is balancing it. He's helping with the balance on the game. I think that's super cool because Justin's actually super smart about fighting games, but that's always like a hit or miss when it comes to this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes not necessarily the best player is the right to balance things. So I'd be curious to see how it turns out and everything like that. I just want someone to hire me to balance their fighting game. I want to balance the fighting
Not very
game.
interested.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like BB Tag, where I'm not interested, and then guess what? It's like my favorite game of the year.
You're not interested in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I thought you meant in balancing a fighting game,
Oh.
and like being in charge of balancing a fighting game. So,
NRS asked me to come be one of the balance testers one time for Injustice 2 or for MKX.
Oh, yeah?
I forget which one.
and you didn't take it, huh?
No. I can't be gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I have work and family and whatever.
That's
So
true.
maybe in earlier days, but not anymore. It did sound like a cool idea, though. Anyway, no, I'm not interested in Power Rangers, but like I said, it could be that it turns out to be great, and if so, I'll give it a try.
And it would have been cool too, because if you helped balance, NRS games, you would have been able to make sure that Chun-Li didn't have 2 Hoyokusens, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Kakpron did. He explained it.
Yeah,
it was
I
actually a wizard. Wizard's fault.
Jasmine.
Unbelievable.
Jasmine.
Yeah, it's not just it's. I guess it's a 3v3 team game, which could be cool.
Oh, okay.
I'm not opposed to that.
Okay.
I'll give it a go. But yeah, the animations look janky. I'm sure it's super early, so
Right.
I'm not too concerned about the animations. But right now they look janky. I never had much connection to Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I just
same here.
I missed it by just a couple of years. I think my younger brother, who's only 2 years younger than I am, was interested in it when it came out. My youngest brother, who's 7 years younger than me, was way into it.
Okay.
So I think I just must have missed it by a few years.
That's really funny because one of my high school classmates loved it. Like he was obsessed with
He
Power
was a little
Rangers.
old for it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, but he
What a
was
weirdo.
just obsessed with it for some strange
So he was
reason.
a weirdo.
But it was pretty funny. So,
Yeah, I mean, I certainly watched a lot of it because my 2 younger brothers were watching it, so I was around for it. But that you know that weird age that you're at where you're like, that's for babies. I don't want to do whatever that is, but you're actually still a kid.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It was that, and you're not yet okay with the idea of doing kid stuff. You're not feeling confident enough about being an adult that you're just willing to do kid stuff. There's that age range in there.
Yeah.
That's where I was for Power Rangers. So I didn't get much.
That's
connection
kind of
to it
what
personally.
Pokemon was for me at first.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right? Because at that time, Pokemon felt like a kid thing. It was like RPG for kids, and stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I never got into it.
Totally
So.
makes sense. There's that weird age range right there. So.
But also, coming up this weekend is the Dragon Ball Finals.
That's true.
It's the Dragon Ball Finals.
It's in LA or in
Yes,
SoCal?
it's in LA. So I'm probably going to go there, try to hang out. I heard it doesn't cost anything to view.
Oh, cool.
But I'm not sure. I'll find out.
Well, if so, then I'm happy to go.
Okay,
Let's go hang out
let's
for
just
sure.
go hang out there then.
If nothing else, go have long conversations. One nice thing about that game is that you have plenty of time for conversations.
I'm just really curious. $10 to spectate. Okay,
that's
not
not so
It's
bad. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
So one thing I really, really want to do is I want to go there and check it out, see how they do everything, see if they announce any cool season 2 stuff because they announced announcements recently, right?
Yeah.
So
They're going to be like, guess what, James? X and Y characters announced, and you're going to be like,
yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to see what kind of system changes they might want to try to put down in there and everything.
I don't know if I even want that. I want the people who like the game to continue to like the game.
Yeah.
If for me to play it, it would have to change very significantly. But I'm not their audience. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll go. And I don't know anything about so okay, Hook Gang God qualified, Kazunoko qualified. Sonic, Fox, and Goichi qualified.
Yes.
And then there's going to be people who have to qualify there.
Right, for
And
the last
I
chance.
heard
Because
that there's
Kazunoko won like he won 4 events.
Four
yeah.
Dragon Balls, yeah.
So there's going to be, so it's always supposed to be one last chance qualifier, and then he created 3 more.
Correct. Correct. So I heard that it's going to be stacked, those last chance qualifiers, which could be fun.
Yep.
So.
Also in 2 weeks, Genesis is coming up. So that, of course, is the biggest Smash event of the year. So that should be pretty
Very
exciting.
cool. Yeah,
But,
I'm really looking forward to that.
maybe we'll
Watching
get
some good
someone to talk about it a little bit more coming
good
into
idea.
it. So,
Okay, cool.
talking about some of the early Smash Ultimate, stories and
For
stuff
sure.
like that. Like, I know all the Bayonetta players are sad because apparently she's really bad.
Is she?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
hear all these people like, dude, I have been seeing some crazy stuff happening, and like the clips that I see in that game, dude,
Yeah.
there's some hilarious stuff
Yeah,
that's
it looks
happening
awesome.
in that game. Someone actually said, that crazy zoom-in mechanic when it thinks you're going to kill somebody
Mm-hmm.
is, they called that the James Chen mechanic because there was one clip where it like triggered like 4 times and they never died. And then finally, so it was literally
I see
like
where this is going.
the Pac-Man went up B and the guy spiked him, but it hit him back into the trampoline, so he bounced out. Then he grabbed him and tossed him. It was like, pshh, and he still stayed on the screen. He came back and he grabbed him and tossed him, and, pshh, and he came back on the screen, and the guy hit the other guy, and it didn't zoom in, and he died.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's literally
Is
the
it gonna
is it
kill?
gonna kill mechanic. Yeah,
Got
the
it.
James Chen is it gonna
Very
kill
funny.
mechanic.
Very funny.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So I've been streaming a lot. Check it out. Twitch.tv/UltraDavid. I'm also putting stuff on the YouTube, which is at youtube.com/Ultra10TV. I'm trying to do both of those things consistently.
Yeah.
So check them out.
Yeah, I streamed yesterday with the first Learn to Fight session where I just played Cammy and I talked about my mindset. Went really well. I mean, a lot of
Good.
things. I put up that clip. I don't know if you saw it where
I did.
I tried to throw someone in tech. I teched again. I was like, now he's shimmyable, and then I blew him up for it. So stuff like that. So I'm gonna get that on YouTube pretty soon as
Good.
well. So all right.
All right. Thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody.
Yep.
I guess we will see you next time.
Yep. See you next week, and hopefully everyone tunes in for all the Dragon Ball excitement this weekend. So, all right, take care, guys. Are you just shrugging a bunch right now?
Yeah. That's the reaction to that.
Yeah. Every time I hear someone actually have this ringtone, it freaks me out.
Yeah, it's
now.
weird. Well, later.